Hi, I'm a little late today. Hello. Okay, thank you so much for joining. I know I'm a bit late. Hello, hi. God bless you for joining. Okay, hi, Ghost Town. That name. Okay, hello. Good evening. God bless you, Becker. God bless you. Thank you all for joining this session. I just want to thank you for joining me today. I am Rockfors. God bless you for joining Mercy Party Creation. Thank you. Apostle Mick, thank you for joining on TikTok. Fast Money Edigwe. Thank you all for joining. So I like to apologize for starting a bit late today. And guess what? We're going to have a guest today. And he, by the grace of God, is going to be a man. I was supposed to host him next week, but he texted me and said, you know what? I can actually join today. And I figured out that I had some availability today and my next week is going to be busy. So I said, you know what? Okay, yeah, we can have you. Because today's topic is very interesting. As a matter of fact, it's affecting almost everybody. The truth is, according to Unbreakable last week, he said everybody has something going on, mentally. So, so that's why today's topic is very interesting. Before we start, we just use a minute to pray because at the end of the day, we need God in this topic. We need Him to direct us in this topic. So we don't discuss it by flesh, you understand, and by our own understanding. We need the Holy Spirit to, to direct us as we discuss it. So 1 minute prayers, wherever you are, please. If you're not driving, just close your eyes for a minute and ask God to speak to you through this platform and through this medium today. Lord, I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank you for the people who are going to join today. I want to thank you for, Lord, I know that they are going to be transformed today. They are going to learn your ways and the things that you want us to do. They are going to also learn how to approach things by how you have laid down principles and not by how their head is telling them to follow up on things. In the mighty name of Jesus, I ask that you touch everyone that is hurting right now in their homes and in their marriages, in the mighty name of Jesus. Give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding this day. Ask the Holy Spirit to teach us all things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so we're going to start. Last week I hosted Pastor Ifoma, and we had this topic discussed extensively. And I said, you know what? We didn't have enough time to give people, the opportunity to react and to also request me and to talk about this topic. Okay, now, if you're joining, today's topic is mental health and marriage. Mental health and marriage. Because in today's topic, I want to tell us some things you should watch out for before marriage so you can prevent anything that would cause you, how do you call it, this cause or something that would cause you to have a mess up mentality in the marriage. Ben Flay, thank you. Remember, you're looking amazing. Thank you. God bless you. Nene Princess, thank you. So, yeah, so we're going to talk about that. Again, remember this platform is Insights. Now, in Insight, we try to talk about reality-based, situations and life that we live, even though we are Christians. We cannot deny the fact that we go through these things just like every other person goes through these things. So that's why we're discussing it. And usually these things are not like, preached in church, or sometimes the pastors do not have time to say, hey, this is how these things are. And sometimes pastors do not actually have time to say, let us experiment the lives of people. What is going on in the life of people? Sometimes we just come to church and the pastor preaches, and after the ministration, some of us will go back with the ones who want to learn, and the ones who don't want to learn, we just drop them there in the church. So this is an opportunity for us to talk and discuss these things as it's happening so that we can get solutions. And one thing I want you to understand is, myself included, I am learning through these things, because when I just hear some people just talk, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this person here is not correct, though. But, you did enter people. You should have sense. You see, you started now. You see, you started. You just came on. You just came. I'll not even read comment again. So, we should, these are things we want to, discuss about so we can get solutions. And sincerely, when we started this platform, I began to tell myself that, somebody said, many are mad, but few are roaming. So many people are mad in this life, and I did not know. And I also did not know that our men, they've sold their birthrights. I'm telling you. I'm going to say it. I did not know that our men, they have sold their birthrights. Men, those days that we used to know, they are warriors. Men, those days. Ghost Town said, Unbreakable, that you carried me come here. Okay. You came here because of Unbreakable. Nah, innocent compliment. I know. So, men those days, they used to be very firm, and they were feared. They were respected. They said what they wanted, and it happened. But these days, I don't know. I think they've sold their birthrights. I'm going to come to why I said that, so that some of you will understand why I said so. But today's topic is mental health and marriage. Mental health and marriage. And last time, when I hosted Dr. Ifoma, and I think when they posted a clip on the platform, some of you were like, no, she's wrong. When she said that, I asked her, is there anything in marriage that can cause the valuing, like that can cause the man or his honor to be devalued? And she said it's two things. One of those things she said was finances. If the man can no longer provide for his wife and family, it can actually cause, devalue in the marriage. And the next thing she said was that if the man cannot perform, that is to say, he cannot do what he has to do on the bed, right? And so many people were just shouting. I heard one person say, now I go finally kill men for this life. That comment was so funny. I'm like, he said, won't kill men. So no wonder. So that's why men are suffering. But look at it very well now. Isn't this biblical principles? The Bible said that you should not deny your wife your body, and your wife should not deny you to her body. And, and God has given us everything to perform very good on bed. So if a man is not performing well on bed, he's either, doing something somewhere else, or he has some problems, that he needs to take care of. But I would never come to disagree with what a woman of God has said. I would never do that. I can only add to it, because every messenger carries a message. So my own stand would be that we often see men that, especially from the medical point of view, some men, when they enter that 40, 45 like this, they tend to have decreased, how do they call it? Decreased traction, or how they say that thing? Erection or whatever. That, as in, they don't feel so often to, to want the intimacy. And I would not say that a woman should, devalue the man with, for that. Or if the man can no longer perform like he used to do, or he used to perform, I would not say a woman should devalue the man. And also, I would also add that, my stance on the money thing. Okay, thank you so much. God bless you, Neki. You see, I'm a born again. Oh, that's why I lost the word or something. I have to just look for, okay. Reduced libido. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, reduced libido. It's to me, it's not the reason why I don't think a man should be devalued for that. And also money. I don't think a man should be devalued for money. Not being able to provide so much, especially when it has not often or always been the case. It's probably something that just came up, and don't place those situations. Yeah. But funny enough, the other things I think should actually cause the value in marriage were the things she said no. Yeah, seriously, because I felt she would mention things like um, uh, maybe infidelity. I'm born again too, ma. I know. Okay, yes, you're born again. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for telling me you're born again. As a matter of fact, everybody here is born again. So, my bad. Okay, we're all born again here. Sometimes just lost, certain words to use for something. So, uh, what was I saying? So, I don't think a man should be devalued for money and for that. I think we can walk through things. One of the things that I'm not even looking at that statement. One of the things that I was even hoping is that she would say infidelity, probably a man that is going around, because I feel like your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and as a woman, as a man, if you go around, you invite so many things on that body that could affect the marriage. For a woman, it's a taboo, actually. A woman don't even think about cheating on your husband. But for a man who cheats on the wife, I think it's disrespectful to the wife, and I think it can actually influence the way she sees you in the marriage, because already she sees you, she thinks that they are competitors. Women like to own their thing themselves. They don't like to share the man. But women like to share every other thing, oh. Because I know one video I said women are sharers and everybody was shouting. Women are not sharers. We are, but the only thing we don't want to share is the man. So God bless you. And before my guest comes, yes, Unbreakable, you see today now. By the time I start with people today, we're coming there. Before my guest comes, his name is. Should I tell you guys? Okay, no, let me wait. Let it be like a surprise. Both men and women value men based on their sources. Both men and women value men based on their sources. Sorry, oh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Renflay, yes, there's love in sharing, but it's not in sharing your husband or your wife. Can you share? Okay, Benflay, I want you to answer this thing. Can you share your wife? Answer me first, and I'll answer you again. Both men and women value men based on their sources. I'm sorry. Your sources adds value to you, but it is not every successful man that is valuable. Benflay said you can share his wife. I need to contact your wife if I need to. Oh, Jesus Christ. Um, Reacting to a maker with the Holy Spirit. I knew you say with the Holy Spirit. So you see, yes, you can share her with the Holy Spirit, not with another man, please. Um, Emeka, every successful man is valuable in their field. Yes. If you're successful in the musical industry, you're valuable in the musical industry. You're not valuable to me. Do you understand that? And you're not valuable to every woman. Value is based on how you influence me, how you affect me, how you affect me. That's how value is based. And let me tell you, the smallest things in life that we think are not valuable are actually valuable to some people. And I want to tell you the story of this. What's the name of this bag that costs over 300,000? Is it Hermes or whatever? How they call it? I don't have one, oh, but I believe that one day God will touch people. Maybe Benflay or Unbreakable will buy me one. Go to the store and buy me a bag of $200,000. I know it's gonna be possible. And was it valuable to Adam and the Creator? Yes, they are. As human beings, we're all valuable to God. It depends on the value you're talking about. When we talk about one. Thank you. God bless you. I mean, I see people here that they understand what I'm saying. So, Chisholm just said Beckins. Yes. Now, Hermes has so many brands and so many bags. But the Beckins version of Hermes, that is also one of the very expensive one. Mama, now Rolls Royce I won't buy for you. Amen in Jesus' name. And I know it's going to come. My birthday is this year, December. I just hope you buy me a car so that I'll show the whole world. Amen in Jesus' name. So, Beckins Hermes, or Hermes, or how they call it, is one of the most valuable bags in the world. Cost a couple of thousand of dollars, over 300, some 200,000 and above. Do you know how it came about? Do you know how Hermes Beckins came about? My birthday is on Wednesday the 14th. We're going to celebrate your birthday, Ben Flynn. Do you know how that bag came about? The woman who had that bag, the owner of Hermes created that bag from something he saw on the airline. Yes, he was flying the airline, and a woman had her makeup, her clothes in a basket on the airline. And he got interested. Okay, I read the story. I was like, okay, basket and why not a bag? And so they got into the communication. I think her name is Beckins or something. So when he got into this communication with this woman, they got talking. He got to know her. He decided to make this bag, the Hermes, after this woman, because he saw her in the airline with a basket, and her makeup was in the basket, her clothes and everything was in the basket, a little open basket instead of a bag. So the Hermes you buy today for $300,000 was made valuable by a man who saw a woman on the airline and decided to create something he felt the woman was missing, which is a bag. And he named it after her, Beckins. So did you see? Valuable is what you create out of something. So when you say every successful man is valuable, I don't understand. And that Hermes bag or something, as a matter of fact, it's just the name, because my Bar brothers, they use crocodile. I say it says crocodile, they have better quality. So quality is not even still, value. So I just hope I was able to, I'm live, I'm live. So I'm just hope I'm able to correct that notion. And Emeka, you figure money, you know, go get value for everybody. Have you not seen women walk out of their husbands even when they have money, and even when they are successful? This Amazon, what's his name? The owner of Microsoft, one of the richest men in the world. Okay, I'm trying to talk to Counselor. Yetunde, please wait. We are our guests. Are they come? He's gonna join now. God bless you. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm fine. How you
Okay.
doing?
We're good. I'm sure you guys have seen Talk to Counselor before. He was here the last time. He sent me his certification, so we could decide to enter. Unbreakable. You're something else. He sent me his certification, and the certification was so long. I didn't even get to read all of them. He told me this morning, I said, please, I'm sorry. I know my certification are so plenty. I apologize. I said, it's okay. That's good. Going straight to the topic, I'll be discussing it with him, but I wanted to lay a little bit foundation on this topic, because at the end of the day, we are Christians, right? And we want to go, we want to go by the Christian way and have some biblical backings with what we're going to be doing. He's a counselor. What the white man taught him. Okay. Mental health. I won't answer you guys now. Mental health and marriage. There are a lot of people who are married today but are having mental challenges or instability. There are a lot of people that went into their marriages happy. There were this, at some point, this very happy girl that everything you see on her is smiles. But in the marriage, something, kind of distorted or ended the smile. And some men too went into marriages with excitement and love, and something just happened somewhere, and at the end of the day, they can't even find this excitement, they can't find this love, and that's why we're talking about this thing. I know some of you would say, I can't trust a man again. If you don't trust a man, you have mental instability, in case you don't understand. Like, that kind of trust. I can't trust my husband, I can't trust my wife. Like, there's a way you can say I can't trust them, because when you're not able to at least trust somebody, to some particular level or degree in marriage, you don't get to have a stable marriage. So when you have mental instability, you can also have an unstable marriage. Okay? That's why we need to talk about today's topic. And now, one of the things that is common in so many marriages is depression. Very common. Very common in so many marriages is depression. And I say this because I've spoken to so many people, and the next thing they say is, I'm just depressed. I'm depressed. I'm like, what is causing you this depression? And they tell you that the way my husband is treating me or the way my wife is treating me. I think women are more depressed, actually. Women are more depressed in marriage. I think because they had a lot of expectation, going in. There were certain things they did not discuss before the marriage. They just expected. We are good at expecting things and not discussing. You just sit down and you just feel like this person knows what is right. And you don't actually discuss it and like, hey, what do you think about this thing? I think before you get married, discuss everything down to the commonest thing of what is your best fruit? What is your best fruit? What is your best food? Would you love to hang out with boys or girls? So you just know, if your husband just tell you that I love girls more, just know that that man would like girls in that marriage, and you just know that, okay. Thank you so much, Shinan. God bless you. So that you just know that, okay, this man has told me that he likes to hang out with girls more than boys. He's going to be kind of Maka, what's his name? Emeka's, bloodline or group people. So you start making that decision. Don't just assume that your husband would love men and the association more than women. So what am I saying? Discuss everything. Discuss things like how long can you talk in a day on phone? How can you talk for 4 hours on the phone in a day, or 1 hour or 2 hours? So you expect those things, because I've seen people who complain about the hours that their husbands spend on phones, and they say, I didn't even know he would spend this much hours on phone. So discuss everything. Who do you run to when you have issues? Discuss. Do you tell all your friends, oh, my wife is dealing with me, or oh, my husband is dealing with me? Discuss it with your spouse or with your fiancé and fiancé before you get married. Because there are some men, they don't know how to handle stressors or or issues in marriage. Even my traditional culture recognizes the supreme, and you have issues with them in marriage, and the whole world gets to hear about it, or their family gets to hear about it. I know a beautiful woman who was, telling me what she's been through in her marriage, and she said that this day she don't even talk again, because every time she has a misunderstanding with her husband, the whole family gets to hear about it, and then they start giving her this, this negative energy, and she calls them, they don't even pick, because her husband has probably gone to tell them something, about it. And this other one told me that the husband told the family that, if I just die today, Mona knows that my wife killed me. And then the family started accusing her that if anything happens to our brother, now now you cause some. So discuss everything. Know the kind of person. Does he have somebody he respects? Does he have a father in the Lord? Does he have a mother in the Lord? Does he have somebody he references that can actually say, hey, come, guy, you need to sit down, let's talk about it? Or mother in the Lord that can say, hey, girl, you need to sit down, let's talk about it. Who are his friends? Are they all divorced? Are they all divorced? Are they all separated? Are those his friends? And if your husband or your wife has friends or a greater number of friends that are divorced, separated, or not married, you need to, be careful. You need to be careful about the association. Know the kind of people they like to keep. Okay. So thank you so much, Talk to Counselor. God bless you for
Thank you for
for
having
joining me
me.
today, and I'm so happy because I know that you've dealt with, issues like this, mental health, because that's what all counselors are actually, out there for. And I believe that at the end of the day, we're going to do a lot of justice to this topic, actually. And let me start by asking, what do you think is the most common reason for mental instability in marriage? The most common reason.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. An interesting topic we have here today. And I've been going through all the comments. Quite interesting. Quite interesting one. Now, I actually outlined a couple of things I wanted us to look at, a couple of, challenges. But looking at your question, one of the commonest, right? One of the commonest is when we have, unresolved past trauma, right? You know,
Past.
yes,
Is it
unresolved.
trauma that occurred in the marriage but is past, or that occurred
Both,
before you got into the marriage?
both before and while in the marriage.
Okay.
You see, it's just like people who are trying to go into a new relationship and they are going in with lots of baggage, right? Baggage from the past that are unresolved, right? Some of them end up taking it into that new relationship. That's the same way it also happens in marriage. There are loads of things people have not resolved previously, right? From childhood trauma to the bullying they faced, to wrong parental upbringing skills that to wrong parental upbringing. I mean, a whole lot. Many of these issues are unresolved, right? They didn't get any form of psychological intervention, and then they took it into a new home. Now, what this does is when they go into a new home, they go in with all those challenges, they put it on their partner. Many of them, many of them begin to accept every rubbish that comes because that is probably the way they have seen it. They have been taking it for long. Right. So just to go down to your question quickly, yeah. That is one of the commonest, that I've experienced over the years. So you meet somebody and when you start trying to explore with them, when you start trying to find out what exactly it is, a whole lot is connected to the past. And that tells you that loads of people do not take their time, right, to heal from whatever psychological or from whatever challenge they must have had in the past, right? And then they have taken it into their new home. And many a time, both couples, right? Both couples have unresolved issues. So it is one unresolved challenge meeting the other. Now, both are bragging for which one has the right of place. Okay, so imagine when a narcissist actually jams a narcissist in the home. So imagine such a home, or imagine when someone that has PTSD actually, is dealing with another partner that has childhood trauma or that has another type of, so just a whole lot of unresolved things. That is one of the commonest that I know we have, faced over time. And I'm saying not just in Nigeria, but even here in the United Kingdom, even in several places, several parts of the world. That's one of the biggest challenges. But you know why um, it seems a bit fair on this side because mental health is properly understood in this part of the world. So the people actually, large chunk, actually understand what they are going through. They have been properly diagnosed, right? They have been made aware of their challenges. And so when they go through all of that, they know what exactly it is. But back at home, the way it is in Nigeria, many people do not understand what's wrong with them until you go naked and walk around the streets of Lagos. You're not people. That's when people believe you have a challenge. You have something related to mental health. People do not understand that you could be looking at someone looking so fly and how do we put it? Is this steez, yeah? With all the steez, yet there is something deep down unresolved. Yeah, so just to quickly answer your question in that aspect, although we have I have a couple of them I've actually listed out that we're going to bring out in the course of this discussion. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you. So you mentioned past trauma, and that's true, because one of the, you're right. One of the issues we have in marriages is like you said, I'm going to cite some instances right now. Unresolved past traumas sometimes occurs in the marriage and sometimes before the marriage. And if anybody is going to get married to a divorcee, please pray to God. Even the government gets mental health issues. Oh, Jesus Christ. If anybody is going to get married to somebody that has been previously divorced, you have to pray hard, because, see, most of them come with the hurts and the pains and just dump them on you. Now, for a man who got married to a woman who abused him mentally, um, he's going to come into that marriage with that abuse. He's self-conscious. You know what I mean? And probably the woman kept saying a particular word to him or did certain things. He's very conscious of those things. And you may not do same thing, but if it feels like something of such is about to happen, oh my God, he gets up and lash. So I have heard so many people who got married to divorcees say that the marriage is hell. The man brings everything that's been through on you, and sometimes the woman too. So let's say a woman who got married because she could not tolerate the husband's abuse, let's say physical abuse, right? And gets married to you. If she left a marriage for that, she's never going to tolerate you lifting your hands. Or a woman who got divorced because of infidelity, remember that she left the marriage because of infidelity, and she's never going to, tolerate it a bit with you. So I think he's right. The things we've experienced actually shape us. They kind of make us who we are and influence the things we do. Just like, some people here now. I was talking to John Breaking, Mama, no feel love, I can never love again. There's even a married man that I know that say he's just living with his wife, just just because they have to be together, but he cannot love again, and that's really wrong, because now you're disobeying God. If you're here, just listen to me. You, that man that say you can't love your wife, you can't love, you're disobeying God, because God has told you love your wife. And now, before I proceed to ask him more questions, I wanted to tell us biblically that most men, they have lost their mantle from being the man and being the head and being the father. Yes, love alone does not hold a marriage. One of the things that would hold a marriage, I said it last week, is the fear of God. Somebody who fears God will not do certain things, not because of you, but because of God. Okay? A man who fears God and reads the Bible that says infidelity is a sin, adultery is a sin, that man will not commit adultery, not because he loves you too much or because he does not want to commit it. He's going to do it because he loves God and because the Bible says it's a sin. That's why he's not going to do it. And also character. I said these things last week. Character is also going to help keep a marriage. There are some people that have very bad characters. And like he said, our counselor said it earlier, that there are some people that are narcissists or whatever. Now, if there's a problem that they caused, they'll say you caused it. They don't go to the root, they go from the top and judge the root. No, now you judge from the root. That's where you can get clear, understanding and good judgment. When you go to the court starts asking you, bring every document to support your case. There's no way they can do a judgment with just what you're showing. They have to go to the roots, get documents together to support the case. Yeah, lack of accountability too is one of the reasons. But let me quickly say what I wanted to say before. That most men has actually Should I say sold their birthright? Yes. To the woman? Yes. Now, in marriage, let me tell you the man. You were first held responsible for a broken marriage before the woman. Yes. This one now is not a counselor kind of this thing, because he's talking his own based on Oyibo and what he has learned and his professionalism. But I'm telling you now, biblically, you were first held accountable, you the man, for a marriage that you could not keep and you walked out on and you quitted on, than the woman. And quitting is never winning. So for those of you who left your wife and said, I quit, or for those of you who left your husbands and said, I quit, it is better to be finished than quit. Jesus did not quit on the cross. He went through everything, backlash, mockery, and all. There was a time they gave him something to drink. I said, okay, tell us what is that content. So he did not quit. So when you quit, you don't win. Okay? And when you quit a marriage, you're going to be held accountable. The man before the woman is held accountable. How do we know this? God has given you the mantle to care for your wife. What is Unbreakable saying that I say and died? I'm not saying he died here. And God has given you the mantle to care for your wife, to watch her, to be in what? To be in control. Okay? Whatever happens to the woman, you are first held accountable before her. If the woman roams around and gets out of your hands, you're first held accountable before the woman. You're first held accountable before the woman, because he gave her to you. He did not give you to her. Now, person will hold something, now they're responsible for the thing. Okay? So if you were married to a good woman and she now turned back bad in your house, God will hold you accountable first for that woman who turned bad. Now, see marriage like a gospel that you're preaching. The man, I want to see marriage like an evangelism or something that you're doing. Through that marriage, a soul must be won, and you are responsible for winning that soul, the man. If you lose that soul, you're held responsible. Okay? God will not hold the woman accountable before you. Remember what happened in the Garden of Eden? You people should leave her alone. You see this thing, Jesus Christ. You're probably making me laugh right now. He said, can Auntie Logical sit one place? If she has to carry something, leave her alone. Which one is that? Yesterday, I think that logical thing you said really got some people's own.
They'll be okay.
Jesus Christ. This Saturdays, I think Saturdays is also therapeutic for me, because people are just so many of them are something they go on here, and that's why we're having this topic, because I see that something is wrong to so many of you up here. So in the Garden of Eden, if you want to ask yourself, why did God hold the man accountable first? You would say that, is it not the woman that ate it? So logically, according to somebody that said anti-logical, you just expected God to come first and go to the first person who ate it and said, Eve, why did you eat it, or what have you done? But he went to Adam and said, you, Adam, what have you done? Because it was Adam that was responsible to God first and not Eve. When God created the heaven and the earth and created all the animals, it was Adam that was responsible for naming everything. Adam was accountable to God and not Eve. Adam is the one that tells God what is going on, what he wants to name something, and situation reports from the Garden of Eden was given to God by Adam. The Bible tells us how God will come and discuss with Adam in the destiny. Not that he will discuss with evil. It was Adam that God had, those communications with. So I don't know, women were not secondary option, but I think that, and I know that the woman was a secondary option for God to ask questions. If Adam had answered God correctly, and taking responsibility, there is no way God would have asked the woman that question. He would have, that question, what have you done, would have ended with Adam. If Adam had just said, I'm sorry. And that's why lack of responsibility, like taking responsibility, is one of the things that can cause mental instability. And I believe that you throw some light when we continue. So God would have just stopped asking that question with Adam. But because Adam shifted the responsibility of what he had done to God and to the woman, God proceeded to ask the woman what she has done. Okay? So the man, I want you to know today, if your wife leave you, not your fault. If you leave your wife, not your fault. So you're held in tight corners everywhere. Now you do better. Hold it. If anything gets bad in your hands, it is because you did not preserve it well. Some of the men, they are not preserving their wives. No, you're not preserving your wife. If you have a food and you don't put it in the fridge or in the freezer, it's going to get bad. Yes, Jesus, so men don't suffer. Yes, I don't suffer for this matter. Yes, I'm telling you. If you have a food and you don't put it in the freezer, it's going to get bad. I'm telling you. I know I'm not going to agree. Yes, I'm telling you. How you preserve a food determines its longevity. Okay? A food that is meant for the freezer. A food that is meant for the freezer. If you put it in the fridge, it's going to be good for only a short duration of time. But if you put it in the freezer, it's going to last longer. Some people, the women in your life, you just, in short, they don't sour for your hand. Somebody came with a sweet soul. Yesterday, can you put your camera the other way? It's upside down. Somebody got married to you with a sweet soul. Everybody say, fine girl, beautiful girl, have good character. You just change the character to bad character one day in your house. And tomorrow now you're blaming her. Tomorrow now you're blaming her. And ask yourself, what did you do? What did you do? And to the woman too. I'm not saying she's gonna have bad behavior, because I'm trying to talk now. I'm talking for you people. I be sisterhood. Okay, I'm not saying that. If you push the man so much to sin, or you push him to his grave, blood is in your hands. If you also push the man to sought help outside, and you know that sin is on your hands. So it's still both ways. I know some of you now say, yeah. I know what I'm saying on the other side, but you also have a responsibility to play in that marriage. You have the role to play as a helpmate. What a helpmate does is it supports the man. The woman, you're the support. When he's weak, you should be strong. You are his prayer warrior when he's weak. Paul said, the things that I love to do, I just find myself not doing them. And the things that I don't want to do are the things that I actually find myself doing. So when a man is in that position, you, the woman, should help him. You should be his prayer bone and not his destruction. Okay? Now, I want to ask a question. I think I'll ask yesterday before I get back to our counselor, because he's going to give us a lot of lectures today. I know I've provoked so many people. Yesterday, I'm going to just ask you this question before I, get to our counselor to throw more light on this mental health and this, since you're already here. In marriage, okay, what causes the value the more, and who devalues the other more? Does the man devalue the woman the more in marriage, or the woman devalues the man more in marriage? And what's the commonest things that can cause devalue in marriage?
Well, I will be very, very realistic. It can be either or, but most of the time, now depends on, now because of the way women are, the way God created women, I say most of the time, a man can build his home how he wants to build it. Most men will meet a girl at a prime age, someone that don't talk, It's not disrespectful. And then they let like years into the marriage, this girl start to have mental issue because she's not happy. Most of the time you see some men, they don't even allow their women to even express how they feel. They refuse to listen. They say, oh, this woman is talking too much. But that's the only language that maybe she understand. When a woman likes a man, she opens her mouth, and the one you ask her, the one you don't ask her, she will say. But the moment you silence that woman goes back to her cage, and then she never says anything. So she just keeps to herself. So little by little by little, and now some men, I'm not saying all men, some men, they have bad mouth. They have
So the
bad
man
mouth.
and the woman, who do you think have bad mouth more?
I would say it's whoever that don't have home training. It can be anybody.
Okay. So
It can be
there's
anyone.
no this thing that most men
I
or
don't really
most.
think it's gender. I think it can be
Okay.
anyone, but I think mostly men abuse it, especially
Okay.
the one that have women. You know, women, society put us at a pedestal. So when a woman, when she talks anyhow, and then the husband go and complain, people will say, ah, what are you doing? This. So that woman kind of, it suppresses all your goals that you're giving your husband. But most of the time, the men, because they are never accountable. You made a very, very good example, man, about Adam. When God asked him what he did, what did he do? He blamed it on the woman. They are always blaming it on the wife. Most men don't take accountability of whatever it is that they have done. And most of the time, they take this behavior to another marriage, even after divorce. They will take this same character, not even examine, okay, what happened to A? What happened to this lady? What could I have done better? You understand? Even if the both of you, if you're not going to work things out, it's okay. But at least you want to make sure that the same mistake is not going to be repeated again. So most of it can be both gender. Some women they've lost it. Maybe because of they've been married before, or maybe a man that jilted them, whatever. But for me, I feel like if you're going to be with someone, understand that this person is a new person. They didn't do anything to you. Whatever it is that happened to you, put it out there and deal with that person as a person. Don't deal with that person as your past tense, because they were
Yeah.
not part of the reason why you went through what you went through.
Okay. So who do you think devalues the other most in marriage?
I don't know, but I don't know. I think it can be any, but most of the time it's men. Most of
Men
the
most
time.
times devalues the women, and
Most of the
how?
time. Okay,
When I say
let me
devalue,
use my own
like
personal
tries
self.
to bring her value down in terms of probably shape or
Let me use my let me
finances
let me say
or
my own personal, just a little bit of my own personal story, just to make you understand what I mean.
okay.
When I first had my car by my ex-husband, it was on Honda Accord. This guy bought a car for my ex-husband and he didn't like it. I came down from New York, came here, saw the car. I liked it, though the car was not really that good. Then I asked him, I said, can you just, instead of the guy returning the car to back to auction, and then they will reduce the fee and everything, I can learn how to drive. And then you just, no, I think I went to driving school. Let me drive the car. Whenever you have more money, you can maybe upgrade if you want to. It's not a necessity. What would he say? He insulted me right in front of the man and called me names.
who was
My
that?
my ex-husband. I'm talking about my personal story.
Okay.
He disrespected me, man, because he said it in Yoruba. The mechanic, the man that bought the car for him, what did I do? I walked out. I went inside the car, I sat down, and I was crying. The man that did the transaction came to meet me, opened the door, and told me, thank you. You did not respect your husband. You respected me by not lashing out on him, because everything he said was not necessary. Now, he spoke to him before. He told him, oh, you're not supposed to talk to her like that. That was disrespectful. If you think you are disrespecting your wife in front of me, you're not disrespecting, you are disrespecting yourself. Now, I talk about me personally because it is my story. I don't know about other people. So I talk about my own personal self. This is my story. This is what happened to me. I know about other people, but these are my own story. They are true to me. Now, and the the man spoke to him, and then the man came to me and said, Yetunde, I don't know you before. This is my first time meeting you, but thank you. Thank you for not giving it back to him. And he said, and then he came back to meet me and I said, oh yeah, sorry for what I said. Can you, okay, you can get the car if you want to get the car. So when we got back inside the car, I told him, till the day you die, don't ever talk to me like that again. You're not my mother, you're not my father. I'm a wife to you. You don't disrespect me in front of anybody. The truth, and I will, before God and man, he never spoke to me like that again. But that does not mean that he did not abuse me in other places. You understand? Like, you feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is not, that doesn't mean that he didn't disrespect me in all that way. But he never spoke to me like that in public again. So, as a woman or as a man, if someone do something that maybe they don't know, maybe you don't like it, speak out. Say how you feel. Don't just keep it in and say, I'm just watching him. No, they will continue doing it again.
Unbreakable. Wait. Ben Flay said, did he buy the car with your money or his money? You see, this Ben Flay has a very bad behavior, but I'll not just say anything. Before I speak to the counselor today that we have, yesterday, I want to ask you just one question right now. What are 3 things you think can cause you to devalue your husband, as in, or a man?
The
Just
moment
3
a
things.
man, the moment a man shuts me up, that is it. Because you shutting me up is you taking my voice. The
How?
moment a man is more like, okay, I'm trying to communicate something. Okay, let me give a scenario. Maybe I'm trying to express something to you, or maybe, okay, me and my friend we say something, or I don't know, something came up, and then I'm trying to, we women, we like to gist with our husband because that's supposed to be our best friend. Some men will just shut you off. Oh, you talk too much. You do this. You do. Immediately you give me that reason to feel like I cannot talk to you. That is it for me.
Okay.
Now that does
So
not mean
that's
I'm
one
going to
reason why you can
disrespect you.
disrespect or devalue a man. Okay.
For
Then the next one.
me, and definitely, it will definitely not even lead to marriage. Then, secondly, um, I'll say a man that is intimidated by my success. Oh, that's a no-go area. A man that is intimidated. There are some men that don't want you to grow.
You can devalue a man by that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the third one.
Then lastly, um, mm, a cheat. In fact,
A
that should
man
even be
that
my number one. A cheat.
and the maker is here. Okay.
A cheat is a no-go area for me. And that right there will make me devalue you. Even if you're my husband, that is a no, because I would have, like I said before, I would have made it known to you that that is a no-go area.
Okay.
So
You said something about he's not your mother, he's not your father. So your husband, your mother, your father, who do you think you should respect more?
when I get once I leave my father's house, now I hold that respect to my husband. But at the same time, you know that they say respect is reciprocal. You cannot disrespect me and think I must respect you. They say respect is
Okay.
reciprocal, whether you like it or not. So you
Okay.
cannot dehumanize me and expect me, because they say that you are the head of the house. Head of the house does not mean that, does not give you the audacity or the authority to dehumanize someone else's child. That is another human being. Whether we like it or not, ma, all of us came out from a woman's VJ. Whether we like it or not, the same way a woman came out from a woman's VJ is the same way you came out from a woman's VJ. So whether you like it or not, you cannot dehumanize someone's daughter because of she's a woman. No, it is not done anyway. So
Okay. So your husband tells you, sit, don't go out today. Your mom calls you and say, we need you urgently. What will you do?
if my husband says sit, don't go out today, and my mom calls me and says she needs me urgently, if I would sort out for other avenues. That even if I'm not present, it can be taken care of.
So if you were the one they wanted,
Now, if I'm the one that they wanted, and is it like life and death?
if you're not told,
Ma?
if you're not told,
Oh, I will leave. I will go and meet my mother.
and your husband says, "Sit, don't go."
I will go and meet my mother. God forbid if anything, if a man do anyhow, it's your family that will still accept you back. So if I now forfeit my family because of the man, and then he's now abusing me, who will come to my rescue? If I've done everything to make sure that if I okay, depending on whatever it is that they want me to come and do, if it's something my sister can take care of, I don't have to be there. If it's something money can take care of, I can send money for them to do it. But if it warrants my presence, I will go.
And disrespect your husband.
It's not disrespect. If it was one, he would have done the same thing.
How
Too. It's not
you think he would have
disrespect.
done the one? Okay, let me ask Emeka before our counselor tells us what the right thing is. Mr. Emeka, who do you think should demand more respect, your wife or your parent?
Please, before I answer your question, I want to ask her something. I don't know. The lady down.
No, ask me. Don't ask her.
No, I just want to.
You
I just want
come
her
here
to
now
clear
and start
something.
talking to somebody else that has come. So ask me.
I should ask you.
I'll ask her.
Okay. Is she married?
The rubbish question, or they have not been nonsense.
Is she married?
She can decline to answer that, or wants to answer it.
If she don't answer it, why would you put someone that is not honest, someone that is not ready to speak up? Why would you put that person on your show?
You know,
It means
America
that.
have what they call I
It
plead the
means that.
fifth. Even as a police officer, if you ask me a question, I have the right to say I plead the fifth, meaning I don't want to answer. So you don't
I
have,
understand.
you cannot use your
Understand.
mentality as a Nigerian man to come and
I understand.
push word
I
or
understand what
manipulate
you're
your way.
saying, but
No, you can't do that.
see, I understand what you're saying. You know, the problem is that I think this place is a place where like they bring genuine people that are genuine. But if you come on here and you don't want to answer a question, a simple question, I'm not asking for your identity or anything. This is just a simple question. Since we are on a platform where we are discussing marriage and stuff like this. So if you're not able to, if you will avoid my question, then it means that you are deceitful. You're not straightforward, and you don't have good intention.
People have the right to say yes or no. And even in American law, it says that when a police officer questions you, you have the right to plead the fifth.
Yes, you're right. I'm not forcing you.
Excuse me. Whether even in fact, I actually wanted to ask you, of what importance would that question be to you? Now, if you tell me the reason why you're asking me, then I can now give you my answer. If you're
No,
asking me a
if you don't want
question,
to,
then I need to know.
no, it's fine. If you don't want to answer, it's fine. Like I'm not forcing you. I'm not I'm not forcing you to answer. If you don't want to answer, it's fine. Then I will answer the question she asked me. But
Okay,
I just
then
want to
please
tell
go ahead
you.
and answer the question. You don't need to ask me a question.
Okay,
Focus
so
on what
I
you're
just
doing.
want to, the only thing I want to make I want to say is that you're not, number one, you're not genuine. Number two, you don't have good intention. You understand? I just want to, because if you cannot answer a simple question like that, that is what it proves. Then to answer your question, man, please, can you ask the question again?
I said in a marriage. And
yeah.
you see in this place, don't tell anybody whether they are genuine or not. Don't.
No,
You have started.
no, but
You have started.
we have to be honest.
You have
I was going to
started.
state that, can we not attack people's character, please?
You have started.
Can we
You have
just
started.
stay true to the
You have
topic,
started. Stay true to the topic. You started.
please?
You are unbreakable. Will always come here. That's how you came last week. Now I started talking to my guests. You will not just
Okay,
talk the topic. Leave people personally. You that they ask you, are you married?
No.
You say I have plenty of women. Did you answer me if you're married or not?
I was honest. I was honest.
Are you married? Emeka, are you married?
That's to tell you. That's to tell you how honest I am. That's to tell you how honest I am. I thought that we are supposed to be honest and
Are
just
you married?
Mama answered the question for me. She said I have the right
No,
to
ask me the
decline.
previous
So why are
question.
you now
Let us go back
attacking
to the
me?
discussion, what we are discussing.
Please go
Let's go
ahead
How
back
to
to
and,
the
answer your
and
marriage
answer
now?
the
them,
Because
previous
please. Don't
question.
because
I want
continue.
you
to
see,
answer it.
you cannot answer it. To your
No,
wife,
no, no. I want to answer the previous.
your
Huh?
wife, or and your parents, who should you respect more?
No, I thought that the question was like between a wife and a husband, who is supposed to be valued more, right?
Emeka, just answer as I'm asking you. You see you now.
No,
Just answer as I ask you it.
you said
Ask
my wife and my parents. You said my wife and my parents.
who should you respect more?
Ha. Respect. Kwa. A man.
I don't
I go
understand.
respect. No. I don't even understand the
Oh
question.
wait,
Like I go respect my.
counselor,
I
please
will
just come
respect.
in. Should men not also respect their wives as their wife respects them? Is
Okay,
respect only one side?
so the thing is,
If respect to me,
Okay,
Emeka didn't
what
really
I
get.
understand by
Emeka didn't. I'm not sure Emeka got the understood the question. The question she asked the young lady also on the platform is, that who devalues, not about who is more valuable, but the question is about who devalues who more, if it's the male or the female. So I think maybe you didn't get that devalue part,
okay.
okay,
right? But let's just
oh
not attack,
yeah, answer that one first. The man and the
you
woman, who devalues the other more?
know. Hey, you got the question now, yeah? She's asking you who devalues each other
If
more.
who the value, then if you're talking about that, then I don't know how to answer the question, but if we want to like look at reality, we say the person that fight for divorce more.
Emeka will not
Okay, so
say.
someone is saying if we can break
Okay,
the question
values
down.
means who kind of brings the value of the other person down the more, makes them feel less of who they are more.
I cannot. That question is very difficult for me to answer.
Ah,
It's very difficult. You can't tell. Like I haven't like been asked such question. I haven't even thought of that. Like to me, I don't think it's.
so you don't think if it's the woman that can't actually causes the men more the value, like makes the men feel less of who they think they are, or the women feel like the men are the one causing it to them? Because when I'm asking this question, I've heard so many women will say that I feel there was a woman that came here on this platform a few months ago. I think Unbreakable joined me live and said, I feel less of who I am right now. I know before I came into this marriage, I know what I was doing. I had my money, I was so creative, I did this, I was beautiful, but right now I look a mess. And she was crying on live here that the husband has devalued her. He brings women sometimes even to the house. He flies to go and meet his girlfriends and lodge them in hotel, the best hotels in is it Germany then? And he has never taken her to the hotel. And she has 2 kids. Look at her hair, So what do you think affect? Because the value is also a mental instability that one person causes the other person to suffer. Emotional trauma for the woman can be devalued, or for the man too can be.
See,
So what do you think
to
affects
me,
the other person the more?
To devalue a woman will be different from to devalue a man.
How?
And that is reality. For example, if you want to devalue a woman, for example, you might call her a shawo. Then if you want to devalue a man, you will tell him he's broke. So like it's different. So to me, the reason why it's a difficult question is that what one person sees as the value might not be the value for another person. For me, as a man, if you call me a shawo now, I go dey proud. You are saying you no go make me feel bad, you no go make me shame. But for a woman, if you call her a shawo, she go feel bad. So like the question is somehow, unless maybe you're specific and said who do this pass between a man and a woman, who is more likely to to broke shame the other person, or between a man
I
and a
think that's the
woman, who is more
question.
likely
That's part
to?
of the question.
Yes.
That's part of the question, Emeka. So you are breaking it down easily now. So that's part of
If I'm
what she's
breaking
asking.
it down easily, right? Okay, then I will say, like, we know that women don't value men that have money. Let us just accept this reality and move on. Let us not start to say things the way we feel or the way we don't feel. We know that women don't value men
Okay, hold
without money. Not
on.
just women, even
Between a
other
man
men.
and a woman,
Wait,
who
hold on.
maltreats the other party more? Who maltreats? That is treated badly. Do the men treat
That's the same.
the women more badly, or the women treat the men more badly in a marriage?
To treat badly is still the same thing. It's still the same thing. There is something you do to a man. Like if I'm talking to a woman, you understand? She's shy. I might pick offense. But to her, if she's talking to me, if I sigh, she might see it as nothing. So it's still different. Like men and women, we play on a different ball. Like we play different ball game. We don't react to things the same each other. I don't know if my brother down here, you will understand what I'm saying. Men and women, we react to things differently. We don't react to things the same. So unless you want to be specific and ask the question, who is more likely to insult one, or verbally, who is more likely to be verbally abusive
Okay,
to
answer that
one?
one like that. Who is more likely to be verbally abusive to the other one?
Okay. According to the studies they did, if I finish now, make una go search Google. 80% of verbal abuse in marriage are initiated by women. 80%. So that is why the lady down, you ask her question, you ask her, say, between men and women who get bad mouth pass. You understand? And she told you that it's men. Like, I was like, when have we gotten to a point whereby men can't get bad mouth past women?
I said depends on who don't have home training. I
It's a simple.
was not even gender
Is
specific.
a
Okay.
is a
If
this is
you're not listening.
this is a
Okay.
question. This is a
We
question
actually
that
have a lot to
should be gender
cover.
specific. According to studies, 80% of verbal abuse in marriage are initiated by women. 80%.
Okay. So what about physical abuse?
Physical abuse, according to studies, women are more likely to hit men first. But men, wait, this is true. This is true. See, women are more likely to hit men first, but men are more likely to inflict injuries on women more. So now make, if a woman, watch people who don't they married or they for relationship, you people should bear me witness. I don't think that there is a man that is up to 35 years that has never been physically abused by a woman, even one time in his life. Then that person is not a man. Women are more likely to hit, but to men, we don't consider it as hitting or abuse or anything. That is why most physical abuse of men not even they report and go they tell other people, this girl just beat me. You understand? Women are more likely to. And this thing I'm saying, prophetess, I'll send you the clips, everything, so that you see it.
Okay. Emeka, who is more likely to emotionally abuse the other party more?
Okay. To start with, this is also, so I'll still break it down. Men versus women. Women are more emotional than men. Men are not emotional. You fit do small thing where you go do. Women, they are easily triggered. They very, 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 very emotional. If they're waiting, a woman go do a man. There is something a woman will do a man. The man, we have thick skin. We overlook things easily.
Who
You understand? Because of
abuses
how
the
we
other
are
one
built.
emotionally more?
Then if it's that, women suffer from emotional abuse more. Women suffer from emotional abuse more in marriage, and that again, where that
Who
comes from
causes
is
it?
because they are very emotional.
Oh, so you can't say if it's the man that causes it, right?
Is the man, of course, is the man now. Every is the man, but that doesn't mean that maybe the man did something that is supposed to make her like over emotional, you know. But if they're in a marriage, women are more likely to suffer emotional abuse
Caused
more
by the
than men.
man, right?
Yes.
Caused by the man.
Caused by the man. Any small thing, women, as women, this is
All right.
see.
Let's
Okay.
let our counselor please
So,
just throw light to everything we've been discussing.
so we've actually been talking about a whole lot, but let's and everything we've been discussing, right, also relates to the topic, which is mental health and marriage. Okay, mental health and marriage. And I'm going to start with there's something we mentioned earlier about love.
Prophetess, please, can you put Unbreakable? He wants me to calm down. He's like he have something to say.
I'll put him. Wait, I'll put him.
All
Because
right.
I have one
So,
more question to ask you. Let him talk.
all right. So, just to relate back, there's something we said earlier. So I just want to throw light on it about love. Now, there's this saying, right? And I don't know how many of us is going to agree with this, but it's actually true. Because when we go back and ask our parents how they've lived from day one, if your parents are still alive, let's say they've lived together for 50 years, the truth you should know today is that they were not in love from day one till that 50 years. They were not, right? Over time, love fades. What keeps them together now? What keeps them together is understanding. Now, I'm not going to look at any religious angle, right? I'm going to be talking strictly as a psychologist, right? I will allow prophetess to talk about everything that has to do with the Bible and every biblical aspect, right? But what keeps she has mentioned that the fear of God, which I also agree as a Christian, right? But what we should also know is over time, love fades, understanding grows. I've had opportunity to meet a number of couples that they've lived together 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and there is a character that the husband or wife will put up. And the person will look like, are you the person I married? Because that's why the Igbo man would say, Ade Amacha, Mada Amacha. You really cannot know someone in his or her entirety. So all of this is about if you have a good understanding of your partner, when these things happen, you guys understand yourself already and you know how to settle it. Just to add my voice to what we discussed, what someone brought up earlier about love. And when we started, I started with talking about unresolved past trauma and how people go into their home with some of those unresolved past trauma and how it's affecting the home, right? And how people are not how people someone said get CCTV in your house. Well, obviously that means you don't trust who you are with. If you're
Oh my
getting it for security
God.
reasons, that's fine. Right. Now I want to tell us a story. It might be a story some of us have heard before, while some of us actually is some of us saw it happen more like in our setting. This woman rather, came to a counseling clinic one day and said whenever the husband comes back from from work, the man beats her. Is the man a madman? How can you just come back from work and start hitting you? Right. So she was told again to come back another time if the same thing happens. She came back another time with wound this time that the man came back from work and started beating him. Now, what happened was she was given an egg, right? An egg, and an indelible marker was used to sign on the egg. And she was told that when the man comes back and beats her, she should come back with the egg. She came back the first time that the egg is broken, right? She was given another egg. It was signed on so that she wouldn't bring a fake one. She came back another time that the egg was broken. Now, the third time, she came back with the egg. And guess what happened? She was asked, what happened? How come the egg did not break this time? Now, this story is not to say who is more troublesome in the marriage, if it is the male or the female. I'm just trying to share something for us to understand, right? Because it can be any gender, right? Now, she came back the last time with the egg, and she was asked what happened, and she said, "Don't mind the stupid man, don't mind the madman." He came back, he was talking, I did not respond. At that point, she paused. She did not respond. The egg did not break. Now, when the man was invited, this happened live in my presence. I'm not saying a story I did not know about. It happened back at home when I was in Nigeria, in one of the clinics I worked. Now, when the man was invited, it was discovered that the man had issues at work. There was nobody to speak to at home. So there was lack of communication in that marriage already. Because there was nobody to speak to at home, he started taking to drinking alcohol. So when he comes back drunk, the person in the house is already saying, you drunk, you this, you that. This also led to him being queried because he started even going to work as a drunk, coupled with other issues he was facing at work. Now, look at this from this angle. This is an avoidable challenge in the home if there was communication. Don't worry, I'm going to learn so you hear your fave, yeah? I know Emeka is your fave. I'm going to learn so you hear Emeka. So this is an avoidable situation, and it could be any of the genders. So the place, we must not, take away the place of communication and all of this, even the understanding, we must not take them away in the place of marriage. I mean, in marriage, we must never take them away. So imagine that imagine that the woman was able to communicate properly with the man. Or let's assume it's the woman having the same at work, and the man is able to communicate properly. They would have an understanding, they would have been able to tackle the challenge head on, right? And all of that. Just to also add more points, okay? It is very, very important, which I have a couple of points I wrote down about mental health and marriage, but this is just to answer a couple of things some of us have said earlier, right? And if I'm to add my voice to what the question that she asked on who does what more, you see, if you've had the opportunity to listen to couple, if you have the opportunity to listen to people, share their challenge, try to tell you where it is. I mean, we know that naturally.
Jimoni, I'm going to accept you to tell us your story soon, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, please continue.
We know that, our grandparents, people of old will tell us that and this is not also to look down on the female gender, but this is just our, small side talk. That a woman, when you have a child, a boy child and a girl child, let's say they are still toddlers, who talks first? It is the girl, right? And who talks faster? It is the female. And some people will tell you that it is actually for a reason, right? Some people will tell you that it's actually a reason for the future. Now, there are some people that are able to manage all of this, but some people are unable to. Some people are unable to because they are still coming from a place of hurt. Some people are unable to because they cannot tolerate. Meanwhile, these things are seen differently in different cultures, right? Over here in the UK or in America, for those of you that are here, we know it's the woman's world. It is very easy here for a woman to devalue you in this part of the world because you could even be the one that rented the home and she will ask you to leave and you can't do a thing, you leave. But in our part of the world, in Africa, it is the men that values the woman the more. But in these parts of the world, I'm talking from lived experience, from experience rather, not lived experience. In this part of the world, it is the woman that values the men more because of how the society has arranged it. And back at home, it's not because the men do not see you as someone they should really, but it's just the patriarchy, the society. But over here, their own patriarchy belongs to the woman. So it's just a different society. And that's why you see, sorry, just to round up this point, that's why you see most people, they say they brought their partner here and the person changed and all of that. So because the person has come into society that now allows them to express themselves, especially if they were living before in a place where they couldn't express themselves. Right. So I'll let you take on and then I would lay my other points later.
Yeah, thank you so much. So you just made a very important point. You said that in this part of the world, which is in Europe, US, the woman values the man more. The woman could ask the man to leave the house.
Sorry, there's tendency. Let me not just be generic. There's tendency. Yeah.
Okay, that the woman values the man the more. But in Nigeria, like Africa, the man values the woman the more.
Society sees you the man more. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And from what you have said, it's a societal thing that empowers this these genders.
Yeah.
So from what I can get, in foreign countries, the society empowers the woman, and so the women utilize the powers, right? And then in Nigeria, the society empowers the man, and the man utilizes the power. Could that be one of the reasons why we have a high rate of divorce in foreign countries? And could that be the reason why the men are shouting and complaining about the behavior of the women, because they can no longer devalue the woman like they used to in Africa, here in foreign countries? And so they see the woman as rebellious or see the woman as bad. Could that be the reason why men think that women are no more, women?
Yeah. So I would answer it this way. I mean, as somebody said, it is quite relative, right? We all had the story sometime that went viral about, which is one of the points I actually wanted to give, that that toxicity in most marriages disguised as love,
Mm-hmm.
right? There are most people that have lived together in the past. I mean, let us be realistic. We all know, right, that in our part of the world, which is Africa, right, you're the man, you have the upper hand, right? Well, and I mean, I'm pretty sure even America would agree with this, but in this other part of the world, you're the woman, you have the upper hand, right? So there are loads of people that while back at home, they didn't have a voice, even the women, they didn't have a voice. It's just like the story. I mean, not to say anything about, not to, what's that? Say it loud to him.
You see this Gideon or whatever. Sorry, let me react to this thing. This GX
You should know I'm the
GX
lion
big
of the
ram
house.
said, as a
You
strong
can't do
African man,
lion
my dear
here,
wife
good
can't
John. You
talk
can't come to this
while
part
I'm
of the world
talking.
and do lion.
She should know I'm the lion of the house.
You do
You're
your
not only
lion
the
in
lion, you're the lion
Africa.
of Africa. You see, you're part of the men we are talking about. Lion of
So,
Africa. That's what you
so
are. Not
now
only the
this
house.
story went viral. This is not in any way to say pastors' kids and all that, but there's this popular notion people used to have about children of pastors and people who have been caged in the house. They would always say when they find themselves out there, they go wild. That's the notion that when they go back home, they go back to that strict environment. The same thing happens when people have left that strict environment, I would, in this notion, put as Africa. And then they find themselves in a place where they have more voice.
Mm.
I, I pay about 1,500 quid. Sorry, quid means pounds. I pay about 1,500 pounds minus my bills. But she could ask me tomorrow to leave. That's the society we live in right now. Right. So, but in Africa, you can't tell me to leave. So that's not the point I'm trying to make. I don't know if you get my point. So the society just emboldens you and make it happen that way, unfortunately, right? Unfortunately. But then it doesn't mean, however, that there are still no people who, despite finding themselves in a new environment, do not uphold our culture. There are loads of people that still uphold our culture, right? The African culture, which basically has to do with the man being, you know, the alpha and omega, right? But
Okay.
you still find some people, especially if they have, we've heard stories in the past where people who were abused back then in Africa, and on getting to the airport, they did not even get home. On getting to the airport right there, I've seen over 10 couples, like I've heard over 10, on getting to the airport right there and then, they told the police that I'm not going home with this man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. The counselor, you see, all you people here that you're talking because counselor is saying something that is good. That is why people are running. You want Emeka to come and say nonsense here. That's why. So
No,
let's just share because
no. He's
counsel.
making sense. He's making sense. So
Thank you.
he's
Emeka will
he's
soon
making
change. You
sense.
see, Emeka now will soon change.
Yeah,
Yeah, he will soon change.
I want to
Uh,
ask him everything he said.
Wait,
Like
Emeka,
he's
before you
making
ask him,
sense.
wait, because I asked you one question and I forgot it. Thank God I have just remembered it now. I've just remembered it now. Let me ask you the question because it's very important. We're talking about mental health. Our decisions, our character and attitude in marriage can affect how our spouse feels. Some of our spouses right now, the problems that is causing the instability is neglect, lack of emotional intelligence and they say respect is reciprocal. You say something that you cannot respect a woman. No, you have to. There are certain things you do. It's not like when I say respect, it's not like I know how you're thinking about it. It's not like you allow the woman ride over you But yes, your wife, our spouses, should be respected because it's the respect you have for your spouse that, helps you, keep certain boundaries in marriage, actually. And that's why I want to ask you this question, okay? Who would you rather listen to or take side with if you have a request from your wife to please stay home and you have a request from your parents to come meet them immediately? Who would you listen to? Who would you place as priority? Or who would you respect? Whose decision would you respect? Your wife's decisions or your parents' decision? Emeka, I see I asked.
Okay. Can I ask him one question before I answer your question?
No, answer me first.
Okay, you say between my wife and my
parents. Yeah.
Whom do I respect? Is that the word?
Who would you listen to more? Whose decision would you respect? If your wife
Decision,
says,
you mean decision in my own household or decision, general decision?
in
Because
your
it's
household,
different.
in your marriage, your
In my
wife
house,
says,
I take 100% of like the decision, everything, 100%.
So hold on. So your wife says, I would like for you to be home and don't go out. And your parents say, I would like for you to come see me immediately. Who would you take side with?
My wife that was living with me.
Is your wife living with
I shouldn't
somebody
go to
else?
my parents' place to go and visit my parents. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but this kind of question is like new to me because there is no argument there. There is no even I will not even marry the kind of woman that will tell me like if I want to go anywhere, she tell me no. So like,
okay.
I can't even think of it. So, like I'll go and see my parents.
Does your wife has a little bit of control over you too?
Control over me. She has to me, I'm her slave. I'm her slave. So like if I'm her slave, if I'm the one that puts my life on the line to work and provide everything she needs, I go through the bad times alone. I go through disappointment alone. Sometimes I lose big money. I deal with all these things by myself. If I go through all those things to put a roof over her head, to give her food, to take care of the children. So like, I don't think there is any way that she will like have control over me. You understand? Because like I'm her slave. I'm working for her. But what I need is that authority. Let me just have the authority over her. Then I will do everything. So I cannot be her slave and do all these things for her. And I will still carry authority and give her again. It's not possible. It does not work. Like as the counselor also made the point.
Okay. Do you listen to your wife?
Yeah, of course. Like if like about like the family stuff, you know, how the kids are doing in school, like this, we need to fix this, we need this, you know. And listen, we talk about
influence your decision.
Yeah, of course. I'm her slave. Like
okay.
Sometimes
so if your wife can influence your
feel,
decision,
yeah, sometimes
for some reasons
feel comfortable to do anything. I'll just like take like 1 month off. But if I remember that I have someone I'm providing for, it will change. I'll change my mind. I will go back to work. Like I wouldn't want to stop because I wouldn't want her to lack, because she cannot call me one day and tell me I don't have food. Like it will break me into pieces. So of course she is influencing my decisions, even my life.
Okay, Emeka, do you love your wife? You're saying all
Man,
sure. I'm trying to get somewhere.
I want us to like, there's, you know, this word called love. People used to to like use this word. They don't even understand the meaning. Men and women show love differently. How a man show love to a woman is different from how a woman show love to a man. Any man that is providing and protecting his woman, that is men show love through providing. So there is
Okay.
no so if I'm providing for anyone and I'm protecting her and I'm making sure her life is good, of course I love her.
Okay, so Emeka, if we're talking about respect and boundaries for each other's spouse and love, you're caught probably in a hotel or in a beer parlor or something, or an outing with another woman, and your wife probably somehow coincidence drives past and say, okay, my husband, we have to go home together, and looks at you with the other woman and tells you we need to go home. Would you respect her decision to follow her home, or you would be with the other woman she met you with and say you would not? Would you respect her feelings?
It depends.
How?
It depends, because to start with, I don't think that my wife will see me somewhere with a woman and she will come there to start with.
Oh, she'll just leave.
Sorry, Prophetess.
Yeah.
Can you just pin this
It-
thing I just wrote? People are asking for the topic. You can just pin my last comment so people get to know the
I'm not
topic
even
when they
okay.
join.
Okay. All right.
There's no way my wife will see me and with another girl and she will come close. Like if I'm with another girl, she see me that she know that I am there. She is taking the other direction.
Why?
What will be the importance she coming over there to create a scene and we start like having problem, or she starts screaming or something?
No,
What
it
will be
just
the point?
comes to you respectfully and say, my husband, can we go home?
That's not respectfully. Is when she know that I'm here with this girl and she take the other direction. That is respect. So she coming there to confront me. Both of us know how it will end. So it's better that respect should be paid initially. When she know that I'm here with this girl, Jeff is in this hotel with this girl, she will take the other direction.
Emeka, you said you had a question for me earlier.
Yes, I do.
Emeka,
I really
thank your God that
I
you're
really
another state. Your type will just be biting you. That's what we can just be doing to you.
I really
Jesus
enjoy everything thing you said. Unlike the last time you made like you made some solid points. You made some solid points, and I want to ask you something. Since we have established that the Western society, their women, they value their men, then in Nigeria, men are the ones that they value women, right? That's your like from your explanation.
So let me take it again so I'm not taken out of context. Right. Now, I said, because of the patriarchal system we operate back at home, there is every tendency, right, that the man would easily devalue the woman, more like disrespect, because the society accepts it. But in the Western world, you do not live in a man's world, you live in a woman's world, right? And right here, I mean, we give a couple of examples of people who came here, they didn't have a voice back at home, but because they know they are now in a society that backs them up, they're able to speak up, right? Because of what we have experienced, the woman speaking up can even be seen as devaluing for the man. So it becomes a societal thing.
Okay, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
I understand everything, but what I want to know, in a society where men have the upper hand and in a society where women have the upper hand, which of the society marriage lasts longer?
There are people here that have been married for 80 years, even in this Western world. There are people that have been married for 50 years. Even back at home in Nigeria, there are people that have been married for 100 years. If they live long, if they have, sorry, not 100 years, maybe they have lived up to 120, 130. But there are people that have been married for 70, 80, as long as people that have also been married here. Right. Now, your question about which society, I may not have any fact in research that says it lasts longer
I'll,
here
I'll
because of
give you,
this.
I will give you, I will
But
give
no,
you,
Chief,
I'll give you one.
hold on.
50% of marriage in UK end in divorce. 50%. So which
Chief,
one?
hold on. You, who did that comparison? Where was it done?
Is a study everywhere now. You live in
Who,
UK, you
who
know
did it?
their,
If
their
you give
marriage
me,
system is
if you
bad.
give me fact, it's not a fact I have studied, right? But I want to understand something, that marriage works, right? Marriage works, irrespective of society. Even
That is
here,
not what I'm saying. I'm just asking you
where
which society has the best marriage. Like which society marriage lasts longer.
So you
That's what I'm
prefer
asking.
him to say the society where the men are beating the women, or the society where the women are beating the men? Is that
No,
what you want here?
if you
no,
can tell
no,
me where we
no.
can
There is
find
no
the
society where the
statistics.
men are beating the women. That thing, please, I want us to stop this narrative that that women always throw at us, telling us that we are the ones that are abusive. In most cases, when women said their husband beat them, they were hitting back at their husband. They were fighting.
You heard
In
the
most cases,
story I
but they won't
told,
talk
right,
the part
Emeka?
where
You heard the
the
story I
husband, they will
told.
say the husband hit them. Please, let's stop this thing we are saying that any small thing, like you people want to make it as if in Nigeria, like in Nigeria, they are beating their wife for where?
So, Emeka, let me ask you, Emeka Chiu, you're taking it out of context. The story I told about the woman with the egg in the mouth, is it, is it representing what you are saying now, that we're making it look like in Nigeria they're just beating women?
See,
Please
don't mind Emeka. I know what he's trying to do. I
no.
want to bring somebody down right now. I want to ask okay, Chiku, it's me you're talking this nonsense with, right? It's okay, I'll not answer you. God
Okay,
bless
so
you.
you know what I think? Sorry, prophetess. You know what I think?
Yeah.
Let me just outline the other points I have, so that
Okay.
if we are talking, we can ask our questions based on all of them. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
want to bring somebody down. I just wanted to ask her something before she goes down, so that because I have some requests, and very soon they might not allow me to take some requests. Then when I bring her down, you just talk before the other person I'm bringing up talk. We're talking about protecting your mental health, because I like to ask questions, and so I can get your reaction to this, question. Now, Emeka has said that the respect the wife will have for him is past the other direction. If they meet him with a woman, that's the respect, and not say, "Hey, honey, let's go home." So, yesterday, if there's a man who is married and the woman has tried so much to say, this extramarital affair you have, I am not comfortable with it. It has to end. But every day, the man is waxing stronger with a girlfriend or with a woman. What would you do to protect your mental health as a woman?
Leave.
Leave the man.
Leave the marriage.
Okay.
Or suggest open marriage. But most of the time, leave. Because, like I said again, me personally, I'm the type of person that I communicate how I feel with wherever it is I'm with. Now, one thing about me is I believe that in life there is a consequence. Even the Bible says that a sin that you sin intentionally, there's a consequence for it. So there is a consequence for everybody's action, regardless of your gender, be it a man or a woman. Now, if you don't want to stop what you're doing, then I can ask, okay, do you still want this marriage? If you still want this marriage, it's obvious that you're not going to stop. Can we have open marriage? Now, I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do. You asked me a question, ma. So, because I know a lot of married women that cheat. I've heard of a lot of married women that cheat. So, and their husband don't even know that they're cheating. In fact, when I know that a woman that is married, is she's cheating, I frown against it, because my question is, okay, is your husband aware of what you're doing? Is there an agreement that you can go ahead and do what you're doing? Or you can
Oh, you
leave.
think there should be an agreement, right, for the woman to also have a boyfriend or cheat if the man is cheating?
People are doing
So,
open marriage, ma.
right?
People are doing it. People are doing it. A lot of women are cheating on their husband, and they are going to church, praying, doing everything, and you don't even know that these women are cheating.
So your two options for a cheating husband that would not stop seeing the side chick or side girlfriend is to cheat back or to leave the marriage.
No, not to have open marriage. See, the
Open,
Bible
okay,
says
open
if
marriage.
yes, the both of you are in agreement.
Okay,
The both
okay.
of you are in
So
agreement.
okay.
So you not being in agreement is cheating. But you being in agreement is not considered cheating because it's an agreement that the both of you have made. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. You go ahead and do whatever you want to do.
Emeka, will you accept open marriage since you're also in an open relationship with so many people? If the woman, your wife,
If
comes and say open marriage, would you accept? So that she too can
you know,
follow
say,
other men.
I understand women. You know,
Yeah,
they look
as he answers, let me take you down, okay?
Okay,
God
ma.
bless you.
they look they look person for face before they give encounter. You understand?
Mhm.
You get the man where you go look for face. You get there is a kind of man that you look at his face and you start to give him this kind of option to be in an open marriage, like in an open marriage where another man is dominating my wife. See,
Jesus
one
Christ.
thing people fail to understand is that a man cheating is different from a woman's cheating, and this is reality. A man cheating means he's dominating the other woman. A woman cheating means another man is dominating her. So there's no way. There's no way. This lady that is here, she's saying that a lot of people are in an open marriage. And Chancellor, I was expecting you to ask her, does open marriage actually works?
Now don't trigger me finish. All of not trigger me finish on this platform today. Amy, Amy, how can you be there? Amy, my guy. First off, let me say good afternoon to everybody. Well, I heard everybody will take straight bullet. I don't come, I don't diagnose me, so I get mental health problem. So everybody will receive straight bullet today. This one goes to the counselor. First off, I don't believe in counseling because I believe that if you've never experienced a situation, you cannot talk about it. That's my belief. So I don't believe in counseling, and I'm not trying to get at you. You understand? If you've told me, if you did not even give an instant that you've experienced it, so how can you know what I'm feeling inside or inwardly? And so you're only seeing me from the outside and you're judging that, okay, he's having mental health problem or people coming with past trauma. You might be right. You made some sense, but I believe you have to speak. You have to use yourself as a reference to let us understand that you actually know what exactly is going on with that person, which you never did. And I had a problem with that, number one. So I don't believe in counseling. Also, I don't believe that I have to pay somebody to listen to me because you're not being fair. That's why I don't do counseling, because if I'm paying you to listen to my trauma, to me it's bullshit because you're getting paid. So I don't do counseling. But some words that you said, I believe, I really totally agree. I'm going to give you that. Now, this is my
Yeah, you
point.
see this unbreakable first. Hold on. I beg, because I just stepped out, so you just came and started talking like that, Abi.
I had to
You not
quickly
wait
say
for the
before.
person
I
that
had to
have to.
quickly say. I
You
had to
not
quickly
wait.
say
You
it
just
before you
started. You just
come back.
I heard you. You think I don't hear you?
It's okay,
You
Wawa.
just
Now,
entered. Just started.
good evening, Mama.
This
Good evening.
is my
Now,
honorable guest. He's a counselor,
but
and he's here because of
Mama,
people like you.
no, this
Dude,
particular guest,
unbreakable.
I've
You
seen
need
him
counseling.
before. I've seen the counselor in one video with Emeka, and I had a problem
Uh-huh.
with him. So that's why I've been looking for him everywhere. And today you brought him. So today everybody will collect
Oh.
straight
So
bullet.
you is here? You want to
Yes,
come and
ma.
talk?
So
Don't leave him
before
alone.
I start with counselor, let me go and
You don't
address
want to pay money.
what the lady said.
Leave that
Now,
lady alone.
Mama,
She has gone.
no, me, I'm not Emeka. You know me, my Chris, not the highest. First off, if you're my wife, because I'm the price, right? Without me, you will not get married. Without me, you will not have kids. So if I'm marrying you as a man, and you decide, if there's a situation which you brought up that the woman has to leave to go see her mom, you stay there. Don't come back. Stay in your mother's house. If you don't, if I don't agree to you leaving my house and you choose to go stay with your mom, marry your mother or your father and stay with them. I don't like to, because we're coming here, we're trying to make people like us, and we are going straight to we are doing like this. The moment your father handed you to me on the altar, he has given me your responsibility, automatically become your father.
So Emeka that also said that if it's him, he will go.
Because
so is Emeka going to remain there with the parents
this is
too?
where I don't agree with what he said.
Uh-huh.
Now, as a man,
Good.
you have to be what you call, what word am I looking for? You have to be a little bit wiggy. You have to consider. You understand? And now it also depends on how the woman comes about it. Let me explain what I mean by that. Now, if the woman comes to me and be like, honey, please, manner of approach, communication, I will let you go see your mom. That is your mother. You understand? It's only a heartless man that will not allow the wife to go see the mother. You understand? When you come at me in the right approach and the right manner, baby, let me go see my mom. I don't know what is going on. It's urgent. Can I quickly go? I will definitely give you that permission to
So
go.
if
But if you
your wife
decide
tells you
on,
that, please, can you not go because there's something I need you for, and your parents said come immediately, would you go?
that is why, as a man, you have to be considerate. You have to be in between. That my own. My wife is my wife. If you go, you must come house to me. You understand? Now I have to step back and keep whatever I have going on for her to go and take care of her business. Because once she goes over there and handle business, she comes home happy and my household is happy. You understand?
Would you respect your wife to stay home, or you answer your parents instead of your wife?
Now this is the thing. The old me, because there are three versions of ourselves. There's the old you, there's the present you, and there's the future you. You're getting me?
Oh, Jesus
Let
Christ.
me explain.
Jesus
Now,
Christ.
if it was
Sister.
the old me, right, I will call to her. I will go to her and be like, baby, I know you are feeling some type of way. Can I please go and take care of my business? You understand? Now, if she, sometimes it's good to listen to your spouse. If she tells me, baby, I had a bad dream that something happened to you, time, this, because women can see sometimes. You understand? Now, me, I will not consider. I will call my family and say, Ndibai, my people, I cannot come because I have emergency in my house. You understand? Because if it's spiritual, if I go that night now, I die in call, and my wife told me, what
So
would I
if it's
say?
the present you now,
The present me, I will just walk out. Ozibo, Mmeboke, you have no right to
so
tell
if it's
me.
if it's the future you,
The future me, which I have yet to experience, you understand, depending on the woman that is going to come and reshape my reality, and the manner in which she has adjusted to my pattern will determine how I will attack the issue.
okay,
You
so now
understand, ma'am?
we are in the present now. So you see
Yes,
that the
ma'am.
present you now needs counseling, the present you
My
now needs
present me
therapy.
does not need counseling.
Your present
Because
you now,
if I heard vividly, mama, no, because if I heard vividly, a fellow girl in my present generation is telling me that she will walk off and go and handle her
that is
business.
your
Why should
own
I?
present you too. You say you walk off. So because you
Because
people now
of
you need
because
therapy.
we've had this
Let's the counselor
conversation
talk and
before.
help you
I
people.
keep relating to
Counselor, please
everybody.
talk and help them. You need
So,
therapy.
so
Emeka, you have to go to. Let me
I
look for
think
somebody that will come.
I think
Because
it is
you need
important.
therapy.
Oh,
So
Emeka,
okay.
stay on the background and get therapy.
I
Counselor, it's
think
counselor's turn.
I think it's important that
Get that out.
Unbreakable. I thank you for bringing that up. You said how you don't believe in counseling and all of that. I think it's very important you made that point. So let me even use the opportunity to even talk to us about a couple of things. Yeah, you mentioned quite a couple of. You said you use certain words that is not typical of counseling. The counselor is not there. I think I put it this way: a professional counselor. Now, I am not talking about you just meeting anybody, right? A professional counselor does not or will not judge you. Counseling is not judgmental, right? And when I say professional, I mean the person has properly studied and is licensed, just as I am. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in counseling psychology and another master's in psychology. I have my certifications from British Association for Counseling and Psychotherapy and British Psychological Society, to mention but a few. So I know my onion, right? So it's right. It is right. I correct you. Counseling is not judgmental. The next thing you said was the person needs to have had lived experience. By lived experience, I mean that the person needs to have passed through what you are trying to tell them. Let me not say you are wrong. You may be wrong. Because if I ask you the question now, how many times have you gone to the hospital and asked the doctor that, doctor, have you had this my ailment to be able to treat me?
Mm-hmm.
There's something we need to understand, that even the car you are using now, even the life you're living now, even the things you use now, you see this knowledge. there are many times some people will tell you that we are disturbing. I mean, as I said, I'm going to allow the prophetess do everything biblical. But as a Christian, I would just like to chip in from this angle. Some people will tell you that many a time we pray too much. Because some of these things we are even asking for, God has given people the knowledge to take care of them. Why do you think that many of us, when we are back at home in Africa, we pray over everything? We pray for light, we pray for water, we pray for, but when you come over to the part of the world where those things are available, because people have done their work, right? People have done their work. If you are unable to pay for my services and I'm interested in giving you pro bono, good for you. But counseling is not judgmental. Nobody judges you in the counseling section. And counseling is not magic. Therapy is not magic. What people do not understand is this. You as a counselor, you are not seated there with the whole solution of the whole world in your head. When you come for counseling, you already know the solution. We'll just help you find it and help direct you. So nobody judges you, right? Because you said you are being judged and all. So just to
I
put,
didn't
I mean, there's a couple of,
use the word
there's a whole
judge.
lot more I would have
All
said,
I'm
but
saying
let's
is
put that
I
aside.
don't feel that I should I think this is because I did counseling with my spouse before we ended the marriage.
I don't know who you
And
met. Maybe you
and
met a pastoral
no, no,
counselor. Maybe you met,
I don't know. But this is
I
an
don't know who
American
you
lady,
met or
right?
the angle the person brought it from, but I'm just telling you professionally. However, let's not go into that
Okay.
conversation, right? Today, the topic is mental
Counselor,
health and
please
marriage.
tell us today, how can spouses better live to prevent this health instability in marriage? So,
Is it me or
what
her
are
or
the
him?
common instabilities, like mental health instabilities we have in marriages, and what can we do to help improve life, you know, and protect our spouse's mental health in that marriage? Because if you can just list out the things that a man has to
Yeah.
do, the things that a woman has to do, and also tell us the common health, instabilities we have, maybe depression, anxiety, and all, why you think those things comes to play, because it's very important for this topic, I beg.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
going to
see
be
the
writing
issue.
down.
The issue of mental health and marriage is actually huge. It's actually large. There are over 100 things we could mention, but I'll just narrow it down to 4. And I've mentioned one earlier, that unresolved past trauma.
Okay.
So unresolved past trauma can actually come from a whole lot. We already mentioned childhood trauma. There are loads of people, many of us do not know that we went through several difficult things while we were children. We saw a whole lot while we were kids that we ought to have healed from. But we didn't get psychological intervention for all of those. And they have continued to recycle in our life, which is why you are always told that 90% of abusers were once abused, right? 90% of abusers today were once abused. 90% of those who see their father, 90% of those who beat their wives today, or 90% of women who even beat their husband, because it also exists. There are women that beat their husband. Let's not shy away from it. Domestic violence comes from both angles, both the male and the female, right? 90% have seen their parents abuse and fight each other. They did not get intervention to know that it is not the way of life, right? It is not the way of life. Okay, so people who have also been bullied at some point in their life, they have seen bullying as the way of life. They did not get intervention on that. So many of them come into that closed circle called marriage. Remember that when you get married, you're with that person, yeah? You guys are living your life. There are some people that like it on the outer space. Okay? So when you do not heal, keep yourself, let me give this practical example. Keep yourself in the confines of your home for 1 week without going out. Let's even assume you have electricity, you have water, you have everything. You can use Netflix. I mean, you're not lacking anything. You can eat food. You will begin to feel heavy-hearted within a space of 1 week. And the next thing you want to do is maybe take a walk and all of that. So imagine yourself in that kind of closed space in marriage where it is you and that person, and you have unresolved issues from your past, unresolved mental health issues from your past, maybe childhood trauma, maybe bullying. I mean, maybe you've been abused before and all that. But because you did not heal, you see, healing is important.
So most of
Bec-
people go into marriage without healing, and that's what is
exactly, and
also
then they
causing
end
the
up
abuse for their spouse.
bleeding. Exactly, they end up bleeding the other person.
I think one day we'll talk about this unresolved past trauma as
Yeah,
in marriage as a topic. The
exactly.
next one is,
Now,
because I want you to also highlight how men can better. I think would this be a
yeah,
consideration for you though?
I'm going to put it all up because I think we have
Fine.
less than an hour to go. Now, the next one I want to share with us is how many of us know that you can even be lonely in marriage?
Yes.
There's loneliness.
As in marriage.
Loneliness is possible in marriage. And when this comes up is when married couples do not communicate with each other. So, you see, before we talk about this, before we try to tag someone as someone with a mental health challenge, many of us do not look at what happened before those things become obvious. You do not communicate with your partner.
You say unable to join, no.
Right? You do not communicate with your partner. Your partner decides, let's assume my brother here now, let's assume he's having a challenge and he doesn't have anyone to listen to him. Maybe he can decide to start talking to bottles, right? Maybe trying to cope, we call them coping strategies in psychology, trying to cope with alcohol. Now, what that also now that might lead to a case of addiction. So you now become addicted to the use of alcohol, forgetting that by the time you wake up, it's all cleared, you're still back to the issue, right? So at that point, you become a loner. You start talking to yourself alone. You start trying to resolve issues, on your own. In that instance, you can now say, yeah, this person is lonely in marriage. So people are also lonely in marriage. And when they become lonely in marriage, it can actually affect their mental health and the possibility of that marriage to continue to flourish.
Which of the gender are more kind of lonely in marriage?
Say again?
Which of the gender, the gender, would you say is more lonely in marriage?
So I'll look at it from different contexts, right? But then men are actually more lonely, right? Men are actually more lonely.
I agree with
but
that
then
one.
for the woman, the woman becomes lonely when she's not allowed to voice. But the man, because of the notion men have that they should be strong enough to deal with every issue, and that's why some people will tell you be a man, which is a wrong notion. It's a wrong word to say be a man.
Okay.
So that mindset has grown in that mindset has come up in every man, where the man wants to stand as odogu, right? And then they're already lonely because they're not communicating. They want to resolve it on their own. And that's why you see most men will tell you that, or most women will tell you that, Shay, if you had told me, we would have been able to settle it together. Or why didn't you discuss this with me? Oh, I thought I could handle it on my own. So loneliness is actually possible in marriage. Another point which I noted here, which I have mentioned earlier, but I'm going to tell a story quickly to explain it, is toxicity that can disguise as love. There are many people who are very, very toxic in their marriage, in their relationship, but then they cover it up with a whole lot. Many of us saw the story recently, not recently, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, that a woman was sharing her story. It was a skit, but she was sharing the story like, I got a flower. I don't know how many of us, if you saw that, you could tell it in the comment section. I got a flower today. The day the man beats the woman, the day the man beats the wife, he gets her a flower. He keeps getting her a flower, and guess the last flower he presented to the woman was on her grave. So that level of toxicity, but in the name of love, people, and that's how you hear some story. I've actually, not like we've read the story, I've actually met clients that would say, he beats me, but that's when I even love him more. I don't think I've not met men that have been beaten by women. I have, right? So that level of toxicity can be present and can disguise as love because of how it is quoted. Another point I want to make, with many of us are going to disagree now, but when I explain it, you understand. As I wrote it here, I said, having kids can also affect the mental health of parents for a reason. This is due to the differences in parenting, especially when they are young. If you have a kid, you will know what I'm saying. When you have a young kid, the man wants to treat the kid differently. The woman wants to treat the kid differently. Many a time, how they try to approach. So I think the day we're also going to discuss that your other topic, we would also look at parenting skills, because there are about 5 parenting skills as proposed in psychology, right? That's where you see different kinds of parenting, right? So how they approach those issues can begin to lead to even issues in the home. And if it is not properly managed, it can brew other issues. There's a whole lot of issues that can cause mental health, even environment. I'm pretty sure many of us know that there's a statistics that says that couples who live in neighborhood where you have more cohesive relationship with others, they tend to be more happier than couples who are in just the kind of place we find ourselves in this part of the
Unbreakable,
world.
let me take you down. I'm trying to bring somebody up. Oh, you still
Mama,
want to
I've
say
not made my
something?
point. Oh, I've not
Okay.
made my.
Sorry.
I've not made
It's
my because
okay.
there are some certain things I did not
It's
agree
not
to.
allowing me to bring people up. It's just rejecting all of
Yeah,
them. But I don't know. It's okay. Just
So
continue.
I mean, these are just the little points I'm going
I'm
to
waiting for
make.
him to
But
finish.
overall, I want us to understand something, that there is no perfect home. There's no perfect marriage. Even our parents did not live happily from day one till the day they passed away, right? And as I've also mentioned, that even our parents did not live completely just in love. They had understanding that kept them together, because you would see people who even go to court and they would say, I still love her, I still love him, right? But it's unfortunate it has to come to the end in this way. So understanding, when it seems like love is fading, what keeps them together is understanding. A whole lot of mental health issues exist even in the home, right? A mental health therapist who lost his or her marriage, what could be the cause, please? So it's just like a doctor that died out of sickness, right? Just like a doctor that died out of sickness. Let us not people, even mechanics have failed to repair cars before, right? And even there are people who are professionals in their field, but they have also failed to get it right in that angle. It doesn't, however, mean that because you're a doctor, it doesn't mean you are God that can create life. The fact that you're a mental health therapist, okay, so let me shock us. Even myself, as a professional counselor and psychotherapist, I have had to see a counselor myself. I had to see a therapist myself. And I have had to see one because of the challenge I faced at some points in my life. I mean, many people don't know I'm a kidney failure survivor. I survived kidney failure. I was on dialysis for a long time,
Wow.
right? I mean, 2 of my kidneys shut down,
Wow.
right? I'm just alive by
Wow.
miracle and family support. Yeah, I mean, I was practically. If you go on my page,
Mm.
if you scroll all the way right down, you will see it how I survived kidney failure. I even started a foundation in Nigeria because of it, and I was helping people with kidney issues before I relocated and just stayed low for a while. After that experience, I had to see a therapist myself. Now, the essence of it is, when we go through these challenges in life, don't forget, as I said, the counselor is not a magician. It's not just someone you will tell, oh, this is it, and they will tell you the solution. Just like just like what I practice psychotherapy, you are given opportunity to voice, to vent. Many people do not know that all you need to do most times is just
Talk.
to vent.
Just vent it out.
There's a book rather called "Is There a Place I Can Scream?"
Mm.
I'm going to find the name of that book and who wrote it before we leave this live. Is there a place I can scream? If you can check, anybody on live here can check who the name of that. It's a lady that wrote that book. Is there a place I can scream? There are loads of people who are looking for where they can vent, where they can scream. And that's basically what the counselor does for you, right? Just where you can vent, where you can scream. There are people who just need a hug. There are people who just need a hug, to be able to stay happy again. There are people who just need someone to tell them, stay alive. There are people who just need someone, everything might not even be financial. That's why the therapist is there. That's why the counselor is there, right? So mental health issues exist in marriages. Mental health issues exist in homes. we should not downplay the fact. We should not downplay it. It is real. It is just unfortunate that in our part of the world, in Africa, people do not really have a good understanding of what mental health challenge is. Just recently in Nigeria, Mental Health Act was passed, something that has been in existence in Europe since 1973. Right. So people are getting to understand gently. And thank you, Harold Mera.
I,
Yes, well, by
I
Harold
have a
Mera.
question that I would like
Yeah.
to ask you because you're a counselor. I've been faced with some of those situations too, but I better approach things with academic reasoning and also with my own godly, and biblical values. But if you're faced with a couple, like I've been faced with so many times, where both couples were found cheating, and then you're their counselor, the man probably was sleeping with a housemaid, and the woman is sleeping with a houseboy or the gate man, and then the marriage is at the verge of breaking, and you're handling the case. How would you better get this marriage back to working, or what would you suggest they do? Because
Okay.
there would be found of you're sleeping with a
Okay.
gate man, and then the woman is also
With the
sleeping
houseboy.
with
With the
the
gate.
woman is sleeping with a houseboy.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
the woman is sleeping with a gate man, and then the man is sleeping
With the house girl.
with the house
Right.
girl. Now you
So
answer this question like this, then the next question, this is the 1A, the 1B would be a more severe case of this cheating. If there is a situation where the woman thinks she's pregnant and the man says, you know what, I've not touched you for 3 months. And then the house girl too presents she's pregnant. And then the man is known to have been sleeping with her. So just answer the first one, then we'll go to the
yeah.
severe, severity of
Yeah.
that same question.
Yeah. Sorry, just to ask for this first one, did they contact you, the couple, did they contact you because of this issue they are having? They came to you.
Yes.
Good. Now,
Probably at the verge of
yes.
divorce, and also
Yes,
see
I
if
know
they
why
can
I
get
asked that
help.
question. Yes, I know why I asked the question. The reason I asked the question is this. The first thing we look at in psychotherapy, that when you recognize that there is a challenge, it means that the solution is close. So if they have come to you, it means that they have interest to work on it. So you deciding, right? You deciding that it is about time we see someone. It's just like when you're sick, you decide
It's
to go see
recognizing
a
there's an
doctor.
issue. Yeah, I know.
Yes, you recognize there's an issue, you recognize there's a challenge, and you want it addressed, right? So when you have now recognized that there's an issue, there's a challenge that you want addressed, the next thing we'll now begin to do professionally is what we call exploration, to explore. That is when you now begin to ask them questions. What happened? How did it get here? What has been the issue? You trace a whole lot even to their upbringing. What kind of home? Where did they grow up? What kind of home did they grow up in? What kind of society? What kind of friends do they have? And what have they had and do they currently have? What do they think is propelling? So it is more of you trying to find out what exactly it is. Now, when you have been able to establish what it is, this is what we do professionally. When we have been able to establish what exactly it is, we can now begin to look for the best, or rather, prefer the best possible solution, which might be, okay, if you are cheating on this, you are cheating on that. How about if we start with, that's why I was telling my brother here that the counselor is not, or the therapist is not judgmental and doesn't give you order. Right? If you meet a professional counselor, hold on, chill, brother. If you meet a professional therapist, a professional counselor, the way they ask you questions or the way they tell you things will be different. If you come to my setting, right, the way I would ask you is this: what do you think would happen if we check my words, if we let the house girl go? I didn't tell you let the house girl go now. There's a difference, yeah? That already is putting questions in your head. Okay, so what happens? Will the home fall? Will heaven fall? These are the ways you approach them, right? So there's a whole lot around this topic. This question that you asked. So I'll just leave the first one there. The second one is about the issue of the pregnancy. One has gotten pregnant. It boils down to the family
No,
again.
you didn't get to the bottom of the first one. So if these two couples have been found to be cheating on each other, your best solution or advice would be let the house girl go. Would you handle the case of the actual crime that was committed? If the man is insisting that the woman was sleeping with the gate man, and the woman is insisting, well, you were sleeping with the house girl, that's something on their head that needs to be cleared first.
Yeah.
And telling the man that, okay, let the house girl go, that one first, he just caused fire too for them.
No. Recall I said, I didn't say let the house girl go.
Okay, do
So
you think we can?
Every professional you meet is suggestive, right? And I asked the question, okay, so what happens if we let the gate man go and the house girl go?
So the
what do you
marriage
think?
can continue to enjoy, or they can continue to get married.
And then you ask them,
themselves.
And then you also ask them, what do you want? Do you guys want to continue living together, or you want to go your separate ways? Remember, we are not going to quote Bible for you. As a professional therapist, I'm not a pastoral counselor like yourself that would want to say, what would Jesus do? And then try to unite them. Who will allow you take your decisions and then guide you based on it. In fact, professionally, if you decide you want to go for a divorce, we would even help you heal from the effect of that divorce, help you live a normal life. Right. So it's more like, how did we get here? So you need to also recognize one thing, that when you're trying to heal from a challenge, every causative factor, right? There is need for you to begin to move them out of the way. If you are ready, any of the partner who is ready would be happy to push those causative factors away. You cannot solve or attempt to solve a challenge without removing the root cause. So
okay, let me just ask this before you get to the severe question.
Yeah.
Do you think a woman cheating on the husband in retaliation is a severe crime to the man?
I have seen people who do it, right? There are people who do it, but it doesn't end well. You know why? Because men accept cheating differently, and women accept it differently. That's a fact about not just society, but our gender, right? There is this notion, and I'm not here to support any fact or any notion, but I'm just saying there's this notion that says when a woman cheats, she does it with her whole heart, and there is more to it, but the man could just do it. As I said, I'm not supporting it or saying if it is true or not, right? But I'm just saying the notion.
Is it good for a man to cheat on the wife? Do you think cheating on your wife affects her mentally?
There's nobody, even cheating on the man himself is not good. No partner should cheat on each other.
Good.
Right? No partner should cheat on each other. In as much as I'm not talking Christianity, morally, right? It shouldn't be. Even people who are dating, they go hair heel over it. Then talk of people who are married.
Okay, so men, you understand, cheating in marriage has been established by the counselor that is one thing. It affects the woman mentally and also affects the man
as well.
I have
both should not cheat on each other.
Because
the question
that was asked was basically based on women. A man cheating on his wife, is he okay? So you're telling me that as a man, if I've been pushed to the wall, I've done everything I'm supposed to do as a man, and you as a spouse are not reciprocating the love that I'm giving, and you're expecting me to remain in that relationship or that marriage, I shouldn't seek happiness elsewhere?
So I'm not sure I got your point.
I'm going to repeat myself. As a man, I've done everything I'm supposed to do as a man in that marriage, and yet my spouse is still giving me hell in my marriage, depriving me of sex, depriving me of love, attention, and affection. I should remain in that marriage and not seek happiness elsewhere?
So let me ask you a question. Are you aware that you have a right to walk away?
I'm aware. But the same platform just said that if we leave the marriage, we have failed. If we don't fix it,
hold on. As I said, let me be clear again. That everything spiritual, she will deal with it. right?
Mhm.
Everything spiritual, she would deal with it. I'm talking from psychology,
Okay.
Let me answer
right? Because
Psychology.
him.
everything, but then I will allow her
Let,
to answer you. It's her
let me answer
platform.
you. If you should leave the
Psychologically now,
marriage,
It's her
first and
platform,
foremost,
yeah.
okay, hold on,
psychologically,
unbreakable.
if I leave, right, you know that in the Western world, because we like to differentiate society, I, the man, will lose more, which will add more to my mental health. Don't
Okay,
you
unbreakable.
think the fear of losing my assets and everything that I have built by myself will make me more depressed or more crazier than I am already?
You
So
see, that's why I want to answer your
where
question.
do I win as a man?
Hold on, let me answer your question right
That's a
now.
psychological question.
You just asked a question. If you've
Yes,
done
ma'am.
everything, now you cannot evaluate what you have done in your marriage as everything. That's you self judging yourself or self marking yourself, or should I say self-righteousness. You've done everything. Who says you've done everything?
I have provided, I have cared for
What
you, I
if you
have
have not
loved you,
done
I've loved.
everything,
What else
but
do you
you
want?
think you have done everything,
Yes?
right?
Go
Because
ahead.
you are not in the place to say you have done everything in the marriage. The other party should say you have done everything. Just like you cannot write an exam and score yourself. Somebody else has to score you and say, yes, you passed or you failed, right? So we leave that you've done everything to the woman to do, just like the man would leave everything, the woman will leave everything for the man to score and say, well, she has done everything in this marriage and I messed up, you know. And also saying, should I leave the marriage? Do not be too quick to quit in something, okay? Marriage, okay, the fruit of the spirit tells us about everything and also says something about long suffering, okay? You know, the problem why we have a lot of divorce and intolerant people is because they don't even know God. And I've told you guys earlier that one of the factors in marriage is God. If you don't take certain things to God and you think you can take certain things to the beer parlor or to addiction, like he said earlier, it doesn't help anything. It's like numbing a pain. When the numbing medicine wears off, the pain resumes itself and you begin to still feel the pain. So we leave God in marriages and that's why we're having issues, okay? And walking out and quitting on a marriage is never the best option. Don't. Except, no, don't be too quick. Do you know why? You said something about depression, and thank God I wrote this thing down. Do you know that people will get divorced are actually at a higher, actually reported, higher chances or symptoms of depression than even those that remained or stayed in marriage. Now, 2018 study published in the Journal of Women's Health found that 24.9% of married women reported depression. 24.9, compared to, guess what, 35.4% of women who never got married and 31.4% of women who are divorced. So do you understand now that those who stayed married figured out how to work something out, okay? A car is faulty. You don't just dump it because you continue to dump so many cars. But you have to figure out what is causing this fault and how do I fix things. Try to fix things before working out.
So let me add to
Those
your point
women
something
worked out.
before I forget this. Sorry.
Okay,
Something you just mentioned now, I think I need to point is that high marital quality is associated with lower stress and less depression.
good.
That's for a fact.
Okay, lower stress, yeah. You see? Now, let me also tell you about the men. 2018 study for the Journal for Men's Health found out that 17.4% of married men reported depression compared to 24.1% of men who are never married and 22.1% of men who were previously married and divorced. So you see, men that are not married are even having more depression whole symptoms than even men that are married, you know. And those that say, okay, let us divorce, you have over 5-point-something% more of those men, you know. So you see now, you cannot tell me that if you were married and you try to work it out or figure out what is that thing that is loose, let me tighten it up. or something, people get happier.
So
You don't,
I should
you're not
figure. You
happier when
telling
you walk out.
Mama,
Now, no marriage is perfect.
you're telling
We all
me
have,
to figure out why my wife is sleeping with the gate man and make it work, or you're telling me I should figure out why my wife lied to the society, to the government, and sent me somewhere I'm not supposed to be and figure it out.
no,
Or
now,
I should figure out
what
and
that gate
Mama,
man own
because
is him I asked.
let us
So,
make sense, because
no, hold on,
99.9.
unbreakable. The gate man thing is him because he's a therapist and he's a counselor and
Okay.
he has been with so many people. And I have not answered that question. I gave it to him to answer. He was in the process when you cut in.
Okay.
And that's why, and when you cut in, you were talking about when you've done everything and you asked him, should you walk out? And he said, as a counselor, he cannot answer walk out or don't walk out. Because I think this counselor thing is like coaching. You make the decisions yourself. They don't
Mama,
make it for you. And they
let me
try to help you through your decisions.
let me make decision for
Okay.
most men. The decision for most men is, if you find your wife sleeping with somebody lesser value than you walk away.
How do you place a man lesser
Excuse
in value?
me.
Is it by
When you
words?
let me tell you how to place a man lesser, because what you did when you came up this panel was elevate yourself. You told us about your credentials, and everywhere you got your credentials, that tells a lot about your personality and how intelligent
That
you
was
are.
not the first thing I did.
But
was
you did it along the line.
answering your
Am I right?
question.
Am I right? Would you compare yourself to a gate man?
Can I do what?
Can you compare yourself with the experience and intelligence you have? Can you tell yourself that after everything you've accomplished in life, you can go be a gate man?
Now, I told you people things about value. Value is, okay, now, do you know that a gate man can be doing something special and more valuable than that woman than you?
Mama,
and you can
there is
be more
nothing.
valuable
If
than
I am
somebody else to
paying, if
somebody
I am
else. I'm
paying a
not
man,
saying that. I'm just trying to let you know something. Value is what you create for the person. It's not you.
by
You
sleeping
get
with my wife, by
professorship. It
hanging her
doesn't mean your
legs
value.
up,
Okay,
by
so
doing more
Hold on,
we're
hours.
getting it
Let
mixed
me
up.
say something. If I like, make I get $10 million today. Get all of this thing. I am valueless. How do I say? Don't let me say it. I am of no value to my husband. If I cannot give him peace, love him, give him everything he needs as a husband. So you people should stop thinking value is the degree. Why I'm saying is that degree you're talking. You have BS. No.
Mama,
Value is what you create for the person you're
so
with. What are they benefiting for it?
she
I'm not
has no
benefiting from your
respect for
BS.
me. After providing and creating a safe environment, she could not give me the respect to go outside and do it with somebody else. She had to do it in my
wrong.
home. That is where
So is
You
your
know, my stance
problem
here
the person
is
she did
adultery
it with?
is a taboo,
Is
actually.
your
so
problem the
that
person
brings
she
us
did
back
it
to the
with?
question that you asked
Adultery
earlier.
is a
Who
taboo.
devalues more in a marriage, a man or a woman?
But
Isn't that
you
the
are now
highest
adding different
level of
context to it.
disrespect and devaluing?
Okay, so sorry, let me ask you a question, brother. Let me just ask you just ask you a quick question, brother, so that
Go
this would
ahead.
help us now. This will help you understand the angle I'm coming from in terms
Please
of
go ahead.
the place of the man, which is the reason I asked you, why, and then you asked me if I could be a gate man with all my certification.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to ask. I mean, you could decide not to answer, but in which part of the world do you live?
I live
It doesn't matter.
in America. I'm in
Okay.
Houston,
So
Texas.
the reason I asked is this: in Nigeria and America, where do you think you have more dignity of labor?
Dignity of labor.
Mm.
To be honest, I cannot really answer that question.
So by dignity of labor, I mean the cleaner in America. Can you compare the cleaner in America to the cleaner in Nigeria?
Yes. Davido's Baba, how much is he being paid? How much
No, you're not getting the
paid
point,
here?
brother.
It depends on who you are working for or the cleaner you're working
So the
for in
labor
Nigeria.
laws are anyway, I
Dangote
don't know of
cleaner,
America.
do you
Maybe
know
your
how
labor
much he
laws are
makes?
sensitive, but I know where I'm just the point I'm trying to make. It's not about who a cleaner is or who a barber is or who, because if we're looking at it from that angle, we may be passing a wrong message about you. That maybe if it's a barber, it's wrong. If it's Tony Elumelu, you can accept
Yes.
it because
Thank
it's
you.
richer.
That's
Let
what
us
I'm
not pass
trying
that
to tell
message.
them. Yes.
Right? Let us not pass that message.
Yes.
The point we are making is this, which I have already said, is on both parties, no matter who is involved, it is not the right thing. Cheating
It's
on any
not.
of your partner, whether as the man or the woman, it is not acceptable. It is not good. And which is why we always say that instead of you getting to the point where you start hitting your partner, where you start doing all of those, you could decide. I mean, walking away may not be divorcing at that instance,
Temporal
but there are
separation.
ways. Yeah, there even if you go to court right now that you want to divorce your partner, if you guys are still living together, they would not give you guys the kind of attention you need until you have separated. You have already shown that we don't want to be together, right?
Okay,
So
Council, let me
that's the
ask
point.
Unbreakable something.
One
You
question,
spoke
sir.
about, let me ask something. You spoke about value,
Yes, ma'am.
and you compared yourself to a gate man. So with what you said, that's why I reacted. With what you said, because he's a gate man, you're of more value. So would you prefer if your wife was found to be sleeping with Dangote and bringing millions of dollars to you?
The thing is, I don't care who you sleep with, just don't show it to me. I don't want to know.
You're
I don't want to
contradicting
see.
yourself
That
now.
is why, hold on. That is why, number one, I don't check my wife's spouse phone, because I don't go seeking for what I don't know will not kill me. Let me not see it.
Okay,
Because
hold on, Unbreakable.
the day I will see it is the day the whole thing is over. You see, a woman, we are saying cheating is not good. Yes, it's not good. I don't support it. But cheating in women is different. If you are my pot, if you are my, sorry, I'm using this word, if you are my own personal spoon that I'm putting inside my mouth, you now carry my spoon and go and give somebody else. How do you think I will feel?
Okay,
On my
Unbreakable,
personal toilet.
let me ask you a question.
Mama, hold on.
Okay.
A woman's body is a pothole that brings a pothole that brings in children. Now, if I marry you, I have made you my pothole to bring in children. You now carry my pothole and go and give somebody else to piss inside and bring children. What are they talk for here? What are people telling? What are people telling us?
Unbreakable, hold on. I'm trying to establish so that you understand that a woman cheating, whether it's somebody of lesser value or higher value, is wrong. So whether I get man he cheats with or he cheats with Dangote is wrong. And let me even ask you this question said publicly today. If your wife brings $10 million and give you and said, I slept with
I will collect it.
Would you collect the money?
I will collect the money. Let me tell you why I'll collect the money. I will collect the money. I will use the money and build myself, and I'll kick her out.
So don't you think you've cheated her?
I did not cheat anybody. She cheated me by going out to sleep.
Why would you collect the money?
Why didn't she believe in her own self-worth? So you should have left her with her $10 million now with her self-worth. Mama, am I out here doing prostitute, collecting money and spending on? I'm going to work. I'm bringing the money. Why can't you two go to work and bring the money? If you choose as a woman to go and mess around and bring I will collect. I'll be people boy. I will use that your money. I will not even touch you. Me, I'm not going to touch you again. If you tell me what you do, I don't touch you. I'll collect your money, use that to invest. I will move. I will move ahead.
Honor is when you reject the money.
Reject money. Who rejects money? Which Igbo man rejects money? Let the Igbo man come here and tell me he can reject $10 million. You know how much is $10 million?
Please,
I think it's also very important now that this issue has also come up. I think it's very important that we also put it out there that cheating is not only having sex.
Yes, so many other things.
I think it's very important that we also remind ourselves that there are little things that we begin to do
in marriage,
and I think that there are very little things that we begin to do and that we'll start doing and hiding. You're already on that lane, right? It is not also a mistake. People that tells you that it was a mistake, it's never a mistake. Right. So I think just to add it out there. However, the point we are making today, or we have made today, or we have tried to establish today is that mental health issues are real, even in marriage. It is very, very important that we always stand strong with who our partner is, communicate effectively. There are loads of challenges in the home, right, that can be dealt with, just by communicating. Remember, I told the story, right? If they had proper communication at home, that man wouldn't have taken to drinking, which eventually led to addiction. From addiction, he couldn't meet his KPI at work. So there's always an underlying factor, which is why even the question on cheating and on pregnancy and all that, always try to tackle it from the roots, Just like when you go into a farm and you want to cut a tree and you cut it from the surface, it's going to grow back. Yeah, always tackle it from the surface. I mean, from deep down there, and that is what a therapist or a counselor will do for you, whether you believe in counseling or not. But let me tell us that even those of us that say we don't believe in counseling, we have at one point or the other been counseled, whether professionally or unprofessionally. And many of us do not even know that counseling has one of its roots or one of its foundation in Africa. And I'll tell us how. Do we know? I mean, my brother here would. I'm pretty sure you may have experienced it while growing up. Maybe you would have heard our parents or our father or our mother, when we do something, they would invite the community head. They would, in those days, take even to the shrine, to the priests, to say, look at what my son did. Please, we call it quasi-parental. Yeah. But because we don't have records in Africa, because we don't, our forefathers did not keep these documents. But you see these people over here, they have kept these documents. People have studied them. They've worked for about 95%. Before you could call it a theory, it has worked for over about 95% of people, right? But the same thing was also being practiced back at home. So you have been met by a counselor before. Your parents were your first counselors, right? Whether it was God's given or it was
They
wisdom. Because
counseled
even the
you,
things we call theory today
telling you
are
wrong
also
from
wisdom
right.
from God, but was written down,
Those
right? So
counseling
that's
came
the
from
point I'm
those
trying to make,
counseling
right?
came
So
from a
let us
Unbreakable.
place.
learn how to support one another in our homes, and then we would have happier homes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
thank you so much, Counselor. Thank you, Unbreakable. And I think we spoke more on the English or kind of academical or something. How do I say it's a part of counseling today and mental health, which was very engaging, and I'm so happy we did all this. But I would like to also state here for those listening that yes, the man and the woman you cannot compare. And one thing that the Bible is saying is, please do not react based on how somebody else has acted. Because one of the things I notice in marriage is we, the women, trying to react to what the man has done. So the man cheats, you two want to cheat. You're doing yourself. You're doing yourself. As a matter of fact, there are more consequences to the woman than the man. And because the man has been found to misbehave here, you two want to misbehave. Don't ever react to somebody based on how they have acted. And that's why Jesus said, if they slap you here, turn here. Certain times, certain things naturally die or stop when you are quiet and when you meet God. And I told us last time, I said,
But you know, Mr.
what God
Counselor,
does for
get
you when you meet him in prayers is not to change the other person, it's change you. How many years do we have to live here? How many? Okay, the man is bad. How many years will he live and be that bad, right? Somehow he will still change along the line, but you focus on changing yourself. And I also want to state here that we spoke more on all this other part, but next week I want to continue with the same topic, and I want to talk about the factors that could influence couples' mental health and marriage. One of those factors I'll be delving into will be unforgiveness and resentment. I'll be telling you stories of, about resentment. I will talk about poor communication. I'll talk about third-party involvement. It's part of the things I'll be talking about distance marriage. For those of you that married somebody and kept the person in a very far place. And I'll be using biblical this thing and real life stories and real life situations or people that I've spoken to talk to you about those factors, because we'll come down to real factors and biblical this thing to back them up. I'll be talking about unrealistic expectations, lack of trust and faithfulness, what causes all those ones. And one thing again, I'll be talking about financial stress and disagreements is one thing that affects marriages, but we don't know. Because sometimes you see all these men, they are very harsh when they don't have money. And when a man does not have money, it affects him. He's not coming to tell you that I don't have money, but it affects everything he does in that marriage, how he eats, how he talks to you, because of that money he does not have. And sometimes, again, men have ego. I'll be telling you about some of all those things, how a man found out his wife now is working and she's making money. The man now started insulting her. He's not insulting her and telling her because you're working, but that she working and making money was affecting him and his ego. So we'll talk about how you can also better manage the husband when you're making more money in the home. Nigerian men walked out of the group. We'll be talking about how you can manage your husband when you're making more money than him in the home, in order not to, negatively influences health, mental health, and to influence your own health. We're talking about poor communication as well. We're talking about lack of intimacy and emotional, disconnection. So many men now, they don't even touch their wife. Most men have so many women out there. So before you go reach their wife turn, you don't reach 1 year. So that's a problem. And for faithful women that I know that women here are so faithful, they don't cheat on their husbands. They're waiting for you to come back home and touch them. So we'll have to talk about sex. In short, one day I'll talk about sex as a topic. It's a big topic. Unrealistic expectation and comparison. Women that compare their husband to Dangote. This person gets moto, gets. This person is a professional, you're not. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about, he has already addressed trauma so much and unaddressed pain. So I'll leave that. Lack of support and encouragement. I think he said a little thing, and disobedience to biblical principle. So we'll try to talk about those things. I actually have them down today because I thought he was coming next week. And then he texted me just while I was in church. I'm in church right now. That's why I'm doing this. And he texted me and said, hey, I can join you today. And because of that, I could not touch this aspect of factors that can influence our mental health that I had written down. So I believe by the grace of God, I'll do it next week. We had 3 whole hours here. Wow, I love this discussion. Good job, thank you. And I try to, or more, I try to accept you so many times. It's not accepting. I think because we already had 4 people and somebody dropped, and because of the time, it did not refuse. I really wanted to bring you, but please, next week, join me and please stay with me online. Let us talk. I just want to thank Counselor here. God bless you so much for making out this time. I know your time is paid, but you decided to do it here for free for all of us. God bless you. He would reward you and give you excellent, clients that would really want to get insight about what to do in their marriages. And
Clients like Unbreakable.
Thank you. Yes, because Unbreakable have mental health issues, though. Yes, Unbreakable have. Me, I know. You understand?
What do
He
you mean,
has mental
Mama?
health
What
issues.
do you mean? That some people don't like the truth.
Yes.
I have a lot to say. If I sit down with him that one-on-one, there's a lot of questions I have for him that he will not answer me. Because at the end of the day, his
That's
job
why you
is
have to book him
his
now. You
job.
have to book him because if it's
His
me now,
job.
people are doing
No,
mama, you
I'm
don't want
not
to pay me
booking.
money.
His job at the
So
end of
book
the day
him,
is
book him
to
and
be
go and pay. Let
neutral.
him help you.
His
You have
job is to
mental
be.
issues
He
just as you're
cannot
here like
help
this
me
now.
because he has
Why
never
cannot love
experienced
you?
it. You understand? Whatever I'm going through, he has not experienced it, and his job is for him to be neutral.
Mm-mm.
Does he have a point? Yes, he has points that he's
He
making, which
was
I agree
so
with. But I don't
neutral.
agree with everything he's saying. I completely don't agree. Your platform now is making it look like men have to always suffer and stay there regardless of any situation. Two,
Unbreakable. You see, because what you're saying is a sin. That's why your network just can't do you like that. Because you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen. That thing
there's
that is in
nothing
your head,
anybody
you're a very
can tell
stubborn man,
me.
unbreakable.
He
That thing is
said
in your head that is
earlier,
always
Mama,
what you want to
before
have in
we
your
go,
health.
he's
And this
Papa.
super touch that is saying now, this super touch people here, you too, you have mental health issues.
Counselor
I know
said
all of you
that
when I see you people.
he didn't
This
mention about hello, Mama.
Emeka act like Emeka has mental health issues. This JXD Grams has mental health issues. When I see your comments, I know somebody that have mental health issues. Yes, and I think Ghost Town also have mental health issues. Though. So we just thank God that you people are here, and God will help us to help you people to change. Ben Flay has semi-mental health issues. For those of you that are still sane, God will bless you people. Please come here, invite, share our videos, and tell people to come and join us. Next week, we'll make sure we try to complete. I told us that we'll use 1 month to talk about mental health because so many people have issues. So, Ghost Town say I don't. Okay, Ghost Town, I have to go and check your comments. Let me know if you have, because I judge people based on the comments you make. When I don't see comments, we go like this, I know you have. You understand? So, but God bless you guys. We'll talk next week. And join us. I want you guys to request me to join. Please, I wrote somebody's name down, AJ Money or something, because our AJ Money 15 that you wanted to share a story with me. I was trying to accept you. I didn't. Black Boy Kenny, please check your DM. Okay, I'll check my DM. Please, so somebody said I'm the mother of mental health issues people. No problem. I love all of you like that. If you know you have something you're going through that is affecting you, we can always talk about it and pray about it. I don't know if Chinanu is here. He's been here all the time. He was commenting. I don't know if he's still here. But Unbreakable introduced Chinanu to me. Unbreakable was up to 2 months ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, right? 3 months ago. Yes. I mean, he was severely dealt with in his country, and a woman dealt with him. So me, I don't even support women here, because women have been doing too much too. If you hear a man complain to you and crying, men don't often cry. If a man is shedding so much tears and is talking to you, just know that somebody has really, and sometimes, men, I agree with Unbreakable that most men are logical. A man that has sense, that understands that life is just beyond what is happening to you, will not deal with you like you're an enemy. If a man wants to walk away, he walks away without destroying you. That's the truth. But women are very, very emotional and pained, that if a woman wants to walk away, she walks away making sure you're destroyed. A few women do not think like that. But most women, I think probably because they feel like, oh, my body don't change, I don't get children, or something. There's something more to a woman's emotion when she's walking out. But a man feels, okay, he can just carry his back and walk and wish you good luck and everything. But sometimes women go extreme and sometimes try to put the man behind bars and so many awful things you do. And one thing I want to tell us is, remember that there's God, right? When you do such a thing to a human like you, and you just think you can sleep at night and eat your food, and you've walked out and you're living with somebody else now, and there's somebody behind bars, or somebody who's financial, because what keeps a man is his financial strength, and you strip him of everything, you're giving him record, or you've taken everything that matters to him, you strip him off naked. People are not just naked because they are wearing clothes or because they are naked. No, a man can be wearing suits, but he's naked, he's empty. You understand? So most men, their wives don't strip them naked. Like, they don't lost their jobs, they don't lost everything, they behind bars and everything. And you think that you can go to church and pray, Abi, he will answer you. God will not answer you. Where is the man he gave you? You answer that question. Because sometimes now our mind is behind. We want to deal with somebody. We don't think, what is the future like for this man? The one that is so surprising is a woman who have children for a man would deal with the man and try to make sure that she cut off every privileges this man has. Any privilege you cut off from your children, you cut it off from your husband, you cut it off from your children. When you put your husband behind bars, you have basically sold your children to the society because you cannot train them yourself. So it is better to separate, but the man can still see his children and be there in the life of the children, than put that man behind bars or try for them to deport that man. If the man beats you or slap you, I don't support it. Separate. We are Africans. Now, I know some of you, the women will talk now, oh, are you supporting domestic violence? I don't support domestic violence. But you know what? If you raise your hands on me, it might be the last time I get to sit with you and eat. I would not call the police on you. I would leave. Now, we know we handle situations differently, and I don't support domestic violence. But I prefer separation than doing something, because you know why? Whatever you do will affect the children you have with that man, okay? If you put him on record, if you take his job away, if you put him in jail, and at the end of the day, he becomes a vagabond, the father to your children is a vagabond. That's how they'll be referred to as. If you take away his voice, the father to your children will be voiceless. If you take away his honor, the father to your children will be less. So deal with your husband the way you're dealing with your children. Meaning, if you would not do something to your children, don't do it to your husband. Somebody said that your husband, if you have 2 children, your husband is your 3rd child. And that's true. If you have 2 children, know that you have 3. Your husband is your 3rd child. No matter how bitter you are in that marriage, separate. Do not deal with the man, because it affects your children at the end of the day. And see, there are some people that goes extreme. When a man has been stripped off, please, mama, we are also our husband's daughter too. Yes, God bless you. I'm going to also, in short, I believe that next week I'll have time to also talk to the husbands. You know, I've seen so many abuse go on, and the men don't understand that your wife is a greater part of you than any other thing. I'm going to also talk about that. Okay, I'm going to tell you where you stand with, if you stand behind a man or by the side of a man. By the grace of God, I'm going to say it next week.
Yeah, please just.
So why am I saying that? I was saying this based on a story of somebody I had to pray with. Unbreakable said it was 3 months ago, because Unbreakable said that, Mama, I think you're not feeling the pains. You think we're just joking, men are suffering. And then I got to a call with this handsome young man who felt he got married and took the woman to his country. But then the woman had something off her sleeves, because some women, any woman you say you want to bring to US or you want to bring to France or anything, she will come even though she doesn't love you. And that's why I'm telling men, put something. Don't put money, don't put this assets, don't put those things first, because people would accept the value of what you're presenting to them and not you. You understand? So America is a value. Somebody will take it. Most women that will get married, yeah, they don't really love the man, but they'll do it. They'll take it. So this woman probably took the value of, okay, outside country, see how Nigeria be. But she knew that in her heart, she was not there to stay in the marriage. And then little issues, nobody's perfect, but she took the man and gave the man out to the court or to the law, and the man lost everything to the point that the country was like, go back to your country. So imagine somebody that brings you to the country. Now they don't collect your own policy, may you go back to your own, may the person go back to country, may you now, the woman, stay with the pikin. How would you sleep at night? How would you, if that man now go to Amadioha, I know you two are I'm a pastor, right? Yes. But what if that man now say, let me go to Amadioha because I don't want to be praying in church, like church, oh, be this thing. See, God is not slow in judging people, shall. See, I've seen the God that is the fastest than every other thing. I pray for people and wouldn't ask Unbreakable, he's here. When the man was crying that day, I said, go, go. But he said, I don't go court before. They deny me everything, even take my children again, come out. I said, do it again. And on this altar, I prayed. I said, God, you do it, you restore this guy. He called me, I think last week, and was shouting and said, Mama, God bless you. You know, thank God I listened to you. They don't restore him paper. This time he won the government. He won the immigration. So that's what God can do. You understand? I'm emotional when I see people suffer so much for something that God can forgive you for. Don't be a God over people's life. If man to do you, just leave him to God and say, let God judge you. Allow God's judgment. Don't be the person's judgment. God has not given you the opportunity to judge. He said, bring them, I will judge. He didn't give you the right to judge anybody the way you judge them sometimes. So, but God will bless you. I'm so happy. I felt he was here. I wanted to actually, take him in so he can tell us the story and the testimony as well that he shared with me. But I'm so happy he's a free, resident and everything again in his country, and is able to work and not be deported like the woman wanted him to be deported. May God help every man that is going through trauma.
Amen.
And may God help every woman that is going through trauma.
Yeah.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen. Very quickly, please. Sorry. Let me do a small giveaway on your platform. But this is going to come through you, right?
Okay.
I'll be willing to help anyone with severe anxiety if they are referred from you. Just two. I mean, my time is usually
Okay.
my mental health trust that I work with here, really taking my time. But any two persons that come from you, right, that are dealing with severe anxiety. By severe, I mean severe anxiety that has even led to panic attacks.
Okay.
Right. I'll be able to help them heal. I'll be able to offer them 1 month free section. Right.
Okay.
If they come through you, just two persons, except if I mean, as Christians, right? Maybe the Spirit leads and we decide to add more. But for now, I will just be able to do this, just to also
God bless you.
support people people are going through a whole lot. I know, back at home, it's not also easy for people to pay. Well, even though the government pays us for meeting these people here, but we know the difficulty back at home and how it's difficult for people to access professional help. So this is what I think I can do for anyone you refer to, just to accept the Spirit leads in the future.
Okay, thank you so much. God bless you. Ben Flay, coming back to your this thing now. Ben Flay, I have to do giveaway now on this platform because you for the next 1 year, I'm going to talk your matter and I'll be disgracing you every day. You do give away with the money. Shebi, a good man that charges thousands of euro has come to say he will do through this platform. He will give two people the free sessions for a month. And you're saying it has to be money. So you bring your money. God bless you all. Thank you so much, Unbreakable. You know you're awesome. I know I love you, Abby. Thank you so much. Thank you, Counselor. Thank you, everyone that joined. I pray that God will keep you this new week we're entering on. And in the mighty name of Jesus, I'm already seeing testimonies with some of you. You get testimonies in the mighty name of Jesus. And I want to pray for those men that are wandering trousers. Those men that everywhere they see skirts, they will go. God will hold you back, gum you back to your house and to your wife in the mighty name of Jesus. You will no longer see those women outside that attract you in the mighty name of Jesus. And those women that are troublesome, I'm not saying I'm perfect, I can also be troublesome. God will help us. You know, I like to use myself most times when I'm talking, so you don't think I'm an angel. I believe in the ministry of relating yourself to people so that they can accept, you know. So all of us troublesome women in the house, God will help you. A few days ago, I was chatting with somebody and he told me that, I said, Mommy, I will just tell my wife because you see this woman, she gave me trouble to the point that her trouble took me out and I started cheating. But now I've come back home. I said, please, we are all sorry. That's how we are. We are all troublesome. He started laughing. So I'm going to pin the counselor's handle. I think his handle is talk to a counselor, but I'm going to pin it on the video. Okay. His handle is the one pinned with the topic for today. So get it. Is the one talk to counselor. That's his handle. So to all us troublesome women that our mouths can run and we can talk. God will help us to talk less. Next week, I'm going to tell us how we close our mouth and how we open our hearts. Because, you know, we women, if we open our mouth like this, heaven feel for. Even God said they fear us. I'm telling you, even God said, for where we did. So God is going to help us control our tongues and our mouths and better judge situations, you know, godly instead of with our flesh in Jesus' name. So God bless you. See you next week. Remember the same time, Saturday, if you're in Nigeria, it's 7 p.m. Nigerian time. If you're in the US like I am in Dallas, it's 1 p.m. God bless you all. Bye-bye. I'm tired. God bless you all. Let me go and rest. 3 hours. I started this with 1 hour. People say, no, more hours. So bye-bye, everybody. God bless you all. Call me Dara. God bless you, Dara. Yes, so. All right.